A diplomatic row between Britain and Greece, how to reform the NHS, and is the UK still a leader on climate change? This is Politics Live. Joining me, Conservative MP Luke Evans, Shadow Health Minister Preet Gill, Kate Andrews from The Spectator and Ava Santina Evans from Politics Joe. Today,
if I told you that you would cut the Mona Lisa in half, and you would have half of it at the Louvre and half of it at the British Museum, do you think your viewers would appreciate the beauty of the painting?
The Greek Prime Minister wants these sculptures back, but Rishi Sunak has cancelled a meeting with him this lunchtime.
I know some people don't like the word reform, but I tell you now, we must be the government that finally transforms our NHS.
Politicians say the NHS needs reform, but we'll speak to a doctor who says GPs are already dangerously overworked.
I'm not going to be put off by people calling it Project Fear. I am fearful about jobs.
You put a bomb under our economy. And the worst thing is, we would have lit the fuse ourselves.
That was 7 years ago, but were people too gloomy about Brexit? World leaders are heading to Dubai this week to talk about climate change. But what will the summit achieve? Well, let's start with the diplomatic fallout from this story broken by the BBC's political editor, Chris Mason, yesterday. Sunak cancels Greek Prime Minister meeting in Parthenon sculptures row. Yes, it follows comments you heard there in the headlines from Kyriakos Mitsotakis that the sculptures, known as the Elgin marbles, should be returned to Athens, where they belong. Let's talk to the BBC's chief political correspondent, Henry Zeffman. This is quite some diplomatic row, Henry, and quite some snub from Rishi Sunak. Why is he making such a public row over this?
Well, the story either begins 2,500 years ago or on Sunday. So I think for the sake of clarity, let's start with Sunday, because I think that's quite crucial to understanding what happened here. On Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, at the start of a several-day visit to the UK, which was meant to culminate in a meeting with Rishi Sunak at Downing Street, he was asked about this long-running dispute over where the Elgin marbles held at the British Museum should go, whether they should be returned to the Acropolis in Athens. And he said, he used this very colourful phrase to talk about how the current situation was as if you cut the Mona Lisa in two and had half of it in Paris and half of it at the British Museum. Now, obviously, that has been his position, the Greek government's position, for a very long time. But people in Downing Street thought that they had had assurances from the Greek government that Mr. Mitsotakis would not make this a big public cause while he was in the UK. And instead, he did, and they therefore, we're told, called this meeting off. However, people in the Greek government say there were no such assurances. They find it bemusing that Downing Street wouldn't have expected him to give that answer to those inevitable questions, and they profess just to being a bit bewildered by all of this.
Right, and he's headed home, the Greek Prime Minister. He rejected the idea of meeting the Deputy Prime Minister, Oliver Dowden, and will just leave that hanging. I mean, one might suspect raw politics at work here, Henry, and a useful dividing line with Labour.
There's definitely a bit of politics here. There is a long simmering question, which I think is bubbling further towards the surface in society as much as in politics, about the place of museums and their collections from all around the world in the modern age, in an age where lots of countries have independence in a way that they perhaps didn't when the collections were assembled. And Rishi Sunak is very firmly saying that he believes that the permanent place of the Elgin marbles, the Parthenon sculptures, should be in the British Museum. I think there is a slight difference of opinion with the Labour Party there, who, and by the way, it's worth noting, Keir Starmer did meet the Greek Prime Minister yesterday. The Labour Party says they don't think it is a question for the government at all. If Keir Starmer were Prime Minister and the British Museum and the Greek government reached a deal, a Labour government would not stand in their way. I mean, it's just simply as a question of law, it is the case that if the British Museum were to come to an agreement to loan the marbles for some period of time, perhaps a very long period of time, back to Greece, then there isn't really anything the government could do.
Henry Zeffman, thank you very much. Starting with you, Luke, was Rishi Sunak right to snub the Greek Prime Minister?
I think in this case he was, and the reason I would say that is because if you have assurances before going into a meeting, this wouldn't be discussed and it's changed.
Although they've denied that.
I think, well, absolutely. I've asked Number 10 and they said that was the case, so you'll have to ask someone above my pay grade to
Was it right, when this subject has been simmering for such a long time, to actually ask the Prime Minister of Greece to be silent?
Well, Joe, I think you're right. We could turn it round and say, well, is it interesting that the Prime Minister of Greece, with so much to discuss, declined a meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister? So he was offered that meeting to have that discussion and decided not to. I mean, here we are having 200 years on having that fight. The government's position has been clear. Successive governments have said it's a matter for the trustees of the British Museum to decide.
He broke a deal. Was it right to snub?
I think it's really pathetic. I mean, Rishi would have known that, of course, this is going to come up and it's going to be discussion. Greece is an important NATO ally. There are lots of things to talk to him about, for example, the economy, Ukraine, the Middle East. Keir Starmer met with the Greece Prime Minister yesterday. Those are the issues that he talked about. So, to be honest, I mean, this just shows Rishi being very weak yet again. Clear failure, and, you know, to snub him in this way, I just think is so embarrassing for our country.
Luke?
Well, I was just saying, there was an offer there to the Deputy Prime Minister. Are we saying the same thing to the Greek Prime Minister, that he was being pathetic as well for deciding to...
It's not the Deputy Prime Minister that wanted to meet him. It's the Prime Minister of Greece, a NATO ally.
You could ask the question, why did the Greek Prime Minister decide to change that meeting? We don't know why they do. They have lots of different reasons. No, but it's
lots of leaders are going to talk about these issues.
The Prime Minister doesn't give running commentary on his diary.
Talking about the Elgin marbles?
Well, no, absolutely. So, the government's made its position clear for the last 200 years. I mean, Neil Kinnock did have a different position. I don't know if Keir Starmer's going to follow Neil Kinnock's position of giving them back, or Tony Blair's decision to hold on to them.
Well, it's a matter for the chair, George Osborne, to make a decision about actually what the British Museum is going to do. We don't have that level of detail. They can already make a loan. You don't have to change the Heritage Act in order to do that. But, of course, we don't have it. But this is really weak from a Prime Minister. A G7 nation, this is not the way you behave. Keir Starmer showed the clear leadership that this country is wanting. What
do you make of all this?
It's a convenient political story for everybody involved, because for Greece, the sculptures are back in the news. For the Prime Minister, fallout from the autumn statement and talk of net migration figures is not at the top of the BBC this morning. Oh. So it is, I think, truly convenient for everybody involved to be talking about this issue, because, you know, dare say we talk about the 7.8 million people on the NHS waiting list, or, you know, any other major piece of public policy we might need to discuss.
What do you make of the diplomacy? We're going to just show pictures, Ava, of the Elgin marbles, or the Parthenon sculptures, as they are called. Here they are in the British Museum. In the 19th century, the British ambassador Lord Elgin was granted permission by the Ottoman Empire, the governing authority in Athens, to receive and remove some of the sculptures, and his collection was transported to the UK. And as you heard from Henry Zeffman, after a parliamentary select committee in 1816 deemed his actions legal, they were transferred to the museum by an Act of Parliament.
Yes, but that's not unequivocal. I mean, many figures have debated that, you know, how serious that select committee was on that decision. I mean, you've got Lord Byron and you've got many MPs at the time. You've now got Stephen Fry, who questions the validity of that decision. Look, I think, you know, the British public are quite clear with what they think about the marbles. They think that they should go back. It's also a real culture war issue that I don't think people really care about. And, you know, back to your point on immigration, that is something the public do really care about. And you'd think that perhaps the Prime Minister might want to meet with the Greek Prime Minister, considering you've got so many refugees passing through Greece at the moment on their way to the UK.
Right, I mean, lost that opportunity. I mean, there are other more controversial leaders whom Rishi Sunak has met since he's been Prime Minister, for instance, from Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, but not the Prime Minister of Greece. Why not?
Well, I think he's made his position clear that he felt that there was an agreement that was agreed, and if, I guess... We could be sat on the
grown up.
Well, we could be sat on the flip side, though, having this debate. If a full-on diplomatic spat had happened the other way, I'd be sat here trying to say, well, hang on, should this meeting have gone ahead in the first place? So they've made a decision, the Prime Minister's made a decision, put an offer out. I think the same questions apply to the Greek Prime Minister, why he chose not to have that, if there's such important decisions.
And do you think
Rishi Sunak... We've spent 20 minutes now talking about this, when I totally agree with the other side of the table that we should be debating about some of the things in the country.
Is the leadership about the ability to say, this is my position and I stand by it? Why are you so weak as the Prime Minister to cancel a meeting because you don't want to talk about a tough, difficult decision? I already told you what Keir's decision is. If there is a loan, that the British Museum agrees with Greece, then of course we won't block it. But I mean, this is a matter for the British Museum to make a decision about the cultural relationships it has with other countries. And of course, if
but the Greeks haven't asked for a loan; they've asked for them back. No, so that would need a change of law.
This is about negotiation. This is why you have meetings.
Well, we can see Keir Starmer and his team there, Yvette Cooper and David Lammy, sitting with the Prime Minister of Greece and his team talking. Whether they talked at length about the Parthenon sculptures is another matter. But yes, we are told that Keir Starmer would certainly consider the idea of them being handed back on long-term loan, but it was something for the British Museum and Greece to discuss. Why not give them back? Why shouldn't Labour's line be give them back permanently?
Look, let's just be clear about the priorities of the country. We've got an economic crisis, an energy crisis. Sure. These are really important issues that Labour is not going to spend lots of time. That's why I think it's
Well, you did have time to meet. You did have time to meet on that issue. Why not give them back? If you were prepared to give them a loan of these sculptures, why not say have them back altogether?
Talking about illegal migration, talking about the economy, talking about COP, that's exactly what Keir's talking about, the priorities of the British public. And he is obviously able to talk about what his view is on this issue. He's not shying away from cancelling meetings. The Prime Minister of this country should be meeting a NATO ally. And the very fact that he cowered and was so weak because he didn't want to discuss this topic or relay actually what he believes, he can't stand by what he believes. That makes him very weak.
But philosophically, where do you stand? Where does Labour stand? Do those sculptures belong in Athens or do they belong in the British Museum?
Look, I believe that institutions like the British Museum should have the opportunity to build cultural relationships with other countries around loaning this. Now, that's a bigger conversation to have. I think the priorities of the British public are not this, and that is exactly what Keir's focused on.
What do you think, Ava? Because there are people who think if we did give the sculptures back permanently, it could lead to all sorts of other artefacts from museums.
But they're not fucking yours, you tramp. Just pointing out the fucking obvious. Give them back. Who cares? Go fucking see them in fucking some of the fucking country. God, this show's fucking annoying. Sorry.
Heading back to where they originally came from.
And it would. I mean, obviously, I think that the marble should go back. You've ripped apart a tableau. I mean, it's a set of friezes. It's meant to be seen as a piece of art in its entirety. It doesn't quite make sense when it's all jumbled and not matched together. But, on the point of restitution, yes, if we were to give these back, it would raise questions for other pieces in our museum. So perhaps those are questions that we should be looking at.
Kate?
I think there is a strong moral case and a case in terms of those who want to visit the sculptures, that they should be pieced together. And I think Greece has done a great job with the Acropolis Museum to set a very high bar for what it would mean to send these pieces of artwork back and make sure they're well taken care of. I have to believe that compromise can be reached here, that some form of recognized joint ownership, perhaps some form of long-term loan, could make this a wonderful viewing pleasure for those who come to visit the sculptures. But I think that point about a high bar of what it would take to send them back is the really important one, so you don't go down that slippery slope of starting to hand back loads and loads of other stuff.
Let's talk about the NHS and the NHS workload particularly, and have a look at this headline when it comes up in The Times, which says GPs call for waiting lists and a safe limit of 25 patients a day. A suggestion made at a national conference of GP leaders last week. Delegates said that on safety grounds they wanted to limit the number of patients seen each day to 25. Let's talk to Dr Nada Khan, a GP registrar from Exeter. Hello to you. Why do you support the idea?
Thanks, Joe. And yes, absolutely. We need to have safe levels of what GPs are able to offer to their patients. We know that from work here in the UK and internationally, that having more than those 25 consultations a day isn't sustainable and can lead to unsafe practice. And this isn't so much about a normal GP's day of their 15-minute appointments and the regular admin tasks. But what's really at stake here is the kind of appointments that we call the duty doctor system. So the appointments that are called in on day, and they're really hard to predict. And that duty or on-call GP might have 70 or 80 appointments booked in a day, and that is not safe. GPs then only have a few minutes to speak to a patient, safely make a plan, and then document it. And that duty doctor system is the one that really needs to be capped at a safe limit. GPs are frankly worried they don't have the time to give patients the care that they need at a safe level.
What's it like for you if you have to see or end up seeing up to 70 or 80 patients a day?
So the main thing at risk here is time and burnout. So if you have that many patients on your list, you're not able to give them the time that they need or the care they need at a safe level. And that's just not a good place to be for patients. But also from the GP perspective, that's leading to more things like burnout and essentially is driving part of this real recruitment and retention crisis that we're facing in general practice as well.
Right.
With more GPs planning to leave patient care, especially even young GPs.
Right. I mean, is it practical, though, to have a limit of 25 patients a day?
So I think in the course of a normal GP's day, that is practical. So if you're breaking it down into a normal day of 15-minute appointments and home visits, so GPs would be essentially, seeing about 4 patients an hour at that level. And that's comparable to what hospital consultants are doing. So it's just really parity across the primary and secondary care interface.
Right. Stay with us, Dr. Khan. You were a practicing GP until 2019 when you became an MP. Do you share a sympathy with Dr. Khan? And you obviously understand what she's talking about. Would you support the idea of a cap?
Yeah, so I even raised it myself on the Health Select Committee as a way of looking at this. The difficulty, I think, of the 25 limit is if you're a duty doctor, you're doing phone calls, you're doing emails, you're seeing patients, you could have 80 contacts in a day. The danger of doing it like this is my worry is it's a little too prescriptive.
Right, so what sort of cap were you thinking of?
Well, the way I would solve the problem in my personal side is actually to limit list sizes. Now we've got a workforce plan. What you can actually do is correlate that to a list size. So when you join a GP, you sign up under a doctor, and that's their list. And so we know that the best kind of figures are down to about 1,800, but some doctors are dealing with 2,500. So what you could do is dovetail that down to allow to meet demand. Because the problem here, what Dr. Khan's getting at, is demand is just through the roof and the supply isn't there. So it's how you deal with that to make sure you don't feel like you've got the sword of Damocles above you on decisions you're making when it's people's health.
Preet, do you agree with Dr. Khan? A limit of 25 patients a day?
I think, look, just looking at this in isolation is really, really difficult. You've got to think about how do we release the pressure on GPs. The government has lost 2,000 GPs since 2015. We're not training enough. We've got a workforce plan. Of course, we can't wait for them to come in order to reduce the list. And that's why Labour is talking about how do we get a community offer. So there are really good examples like in Bromley by Bow. So it's not just the GP. Actually, it's the health visitor, the physiotherapist, the social prescribers that work together and deliver services so people can get a one-stop shop approach. We're also saying we'll offer 2 million more appointments to reduce the waiting list 7.7 million. And I think that is really, really important we do that.
Right, and I can see your holistic approach right across the NHS. But on this specific idea, would you back Dr. Khan's suggestion of 25 patients a day, a cap for all GPs?
Look, GPs are going above and beyond, and I appreciate there's a lot of pressure. And unless we have a mental health offer that releases a lot of pressure, you've got to understand what is the cases that GPs are dealing with in order to release that pressure. And therefore, you've got to have a strategy to deal with that. Just to give an arbitrary number of 25 doesn't take into consideration, there are lots of, I'm just thinking about Birmingham, inner city, inequalities, real issues, lots of patients in one surgery, and, it's not spread out. So the ICB have really got to look at their regions and assess what the need is, look at the demographic and be clear as to what does it actually mean in terms of supporting GPs.
Listening to that, Dr. Khan, what do you make of Preet Gill saying it's an arbitrary target? And we heard from Luke, who was a GP like you, saying there are better ways of doing this.
I think I take the point, but I think that there's a few things to unpick here. The first thing is that we really need to understand the scale of the problem. Hospitals have an alert system that's used that some of you might be familiar with those black and red alerts when demand is really high. And I think general practice first needs a similar system to show where the system is straining and when. And if we can identify where that's happening, then GPs can access extra support when capacity is not meeting the demand. And I think that having that system will allow practices to access and open up extra support. So suspending non-core work or freeing up local support packages. And that's all been outlined in the recent Royal College of GPs election manifesto as part of recommendations to go forward.
I mean, one of the worries I would have is that it may have an adverse effect on patients, a growing waiting list if you're not going through and getting through the lists of people wanting to see a GP.
I think that's exactly right. The question is it better to have a short appointment with a GP or no appointment with a GP? And with the waiting list where they're at, I think, you know, I would err on the side of a shorter appointment. I think Dr. Conlon makes some really important points that for the sake of doctors and for patients, being rushed through, not getting that proper time and attention, not being able to do your job to the level that you feel you should be delivering, patients feeling the strain of that, it's not a great situation. And so much of this goes back 15 years to when the government and the British Medical Association decided to cap the number of training placements for doctors. We have started to reverse that. This is going to take a long time to feed through the system. In the meantime, we have to find more productivity gains. We absolutely can in the NHS. There's a lot of room for that.
I fucking hate this bitch. I fucking hate her with a passion. Honestly, I just look at her face. If nobody knows who this fucking retard is, she's a fucking American fucking Republican. Just leave it there, and somehow she magically appeared on Question Time for no fucking reason whatsoever. No fucking heard of her until Question Time. Boom. I'm a think tank. Ugh. And now she writes for the New Statesman. She is literally a fucking spy for somebody, because where she came from is magical in the first place. How'd you randomly get on Question Time and nobody knows who the fuck you are? Nobody in the entire country doesn't have a clue, but you magically appeared on Question Time? That's her. Why does American politics sound like British politics? One would fucking her is the reason. Follow the money, bitches. You're looking at it right there. Fucking Trump.
But we must be careful not to then say, well, it's very obvious the NHS could be more effective and productive. Thus, we're going to target individual doctors and make them double their appointments or caseloads. That's not reasonable either. So, I think Dr. Khan makes some important points about the stress that is falling on doctors when they just feel like they can't fully deliver for their patients.
Ava?
I'm not sure I agree with your no appointment or 10-minute window. I think, I think we've kind of got used to the sort of state of decay that Britain is in at the moment, and we're almost willing to accept the crumbs rather than accept, something or strive for something better. If you consider that more than half of misdiagnoses are made at the GP office, that's your first point of call. You've got more than half of people being misdiagnosed. You're now looking at a system that is not hoping to treat people or hope, to make them better or make their lives better. You're now just looking at an emergency system that's only dealing with people who've got a broken leg and can deal with that,
Ava,
that quickly.
I could not agree with you more. I think we need a fundamental rethink of the way that the entire system is structured, and I don't think it's good enough for patients. But in terms of what we're dealing with today, tomorrow, if you're a patient calling up and you can get 10 minutes or you have no appointment because there's a cap of 25, it's in that very narrow mindset that I'm thinking about this.
But I disagree with that, because the problem you've got at the moment is that you've got doctors now sitting on the front line who are telling you that they are burnt out, that they can't cope. You've got 1 in 3 under 30s quitting in their first year of being a GP. I mean, that's an astonishing figure. Why are so many of them quitting?
How do you fix this tomorrow so there are more appointments, more time to be seen? I mean, truly.
You know the thing about these fucking slimy bastards? How do you fix it? You know what the answer is? Give corporations the fucking money. That's how you fix it. Give all the corporations the money. That's how you fix it. There's no such thing as a government. That doesn't exist. You don't exist. Give it all to private corporations, because private corporations are out there to look after you. I don't know what fucking planet you live on, pal, but that's not what I read in the history book. It just literally doesn't say that, does it? It's the exact opposite. The reason why governments make laws is to keep corporations in fucking check. Do you honestly think a corporation gives a fuck about you? Really? What fucking mental fucking crack are you smoking? No. Government is good when it comes to corporations. I don't want to be like fucking China fucking governments, if you get the point. But this bitch is the opposite. She's like a fascist. Which is even worse. She's a fascist with a smile, trying to convince you that corporations are good for you. Why does Apple make so much money? I don't know. Maybe because they charge people ridiculous amounts of money for phones. Because people are fucking idiots. And pay people in China, fuck knows how much a day. 50p maybe, give or take. Fuck knows. And then literally, you walk around like you're fucking a badass because you got an iPhone. When a guy in a sweatshop made that shit. It's not impossible to own an iPhone. It just makes... Every time I see people with iPhones, it just makes me think, wow, you're fucking ignorant. A lot. It's not fashionable to be a fucking stupid cunt. Last time I checked anyway. Fucking... And this bitch. Fucking annoying. Out of nowhere, like I said. First time I seen this cunt. Question time. Pew! Like she got parachuted into that motherfucker. Just to talk bollocks. You know the funny thing is? She wishes she was Ava. I'm just going to point this out. It sounds a bit racist, but fuck, I don't care. Ava is actually English. She wants to be Ava. Which is mad. Ava's a lovely lady. But she wants to be like her. She wants to speak better English than she does. This fucking ain't even English. It's the fucking funny bit. She's not English. She's an American and a Republican right-winger. Look her up. Right there. She's a fucking dick.
Tomorrow, how would you make it so that you could have that 20-minute appointment and doctors would only be seeing 15 people?
Well, I would argue that keeping more doctors in there would free up more appointments. So if people are quitting, you're not going to have any appointments at all, are you?
Let me just come to it, because you're a Shadow Health Minister. Keir Starmer has said he wants reform. Wes Streeting, the Shadow Health Secretary, has said he wants reform. What does that look like?
So it's what I talked about. It's about what's the community offer. So
I honestly get one whiny bastard in my fucking comment section saying, shut up, I want to watch the show. Go pay your TV license. Go and watch it on the telly. It doesn't say BBC, does it, in my fucking name? Does it say I work or get paid by the BBC to fucking give you free fucking shows? Don't fucking complain. It's literally my YouTube channel. You fucking cunt. Preemptive fucking striking for all you fucking whiny cunts out there who go, oh, shut up, I want to watch the show. Go fucking watch the show. You twat, I ain't stopping you. It's my fucking channel. I'll do what the fuck I want. Fucking twat.
For example, we know people have to go to outpatient appointments in hospitals. Why can't that be put in the community? What is the role of pharmacists, for example? Lots of them do independent prescribing. The government's delayed its plan and initiative. They want to do more. They can do more. That will release pressure from GPs, having mental health hubs. And of course, we've talked about our Fit for Future Fund. This is about doubling the MRI scanners, the CT scanners, reducing the waiting list. Reform is about, it isn't just about where you put money, it's how you target the support in terms of making sure that you're delivering a service where you know, we are picking up and predicting illnesses. So MRI and CT scanners will have AI diagnostics.
They are all good ideas. But let's say you win the election next year. Will the NHS, a couple of years after...
Let's say you win the election next year. What? No. Let's say when you get in power next year. Not let's see or what if. No. What are you going to do? Is it going to be worse than the Tories? I don't know anybody in their right fucking mind would think the Labour Party could do fucking worse than what we've already got. You would have to be spectacularly shit at your fucking job. I would expect riots. If it got worse under Labour, I would hope somebody said, anybody want to riot? Shall we burn some shit? I'm just saying, can it get fucking worse than fucking this stupid bunch of fucking arse lickers? Literally, can it get worse? Another mention about COVID today. Just saying, COVID is literally breaking news. Because Michael fucking Gove is literally on fucking COVID duty today. Not a fucking peep from these fucking motherfuckers. Not at all. Even though we threw fucking gobshites under the bus. Not even a peep. Not even, oh, Michael Gove was testifying to the go. When was the last time you heard anything about COVID on this fucking show? Considering it killed so many people. And our government's literally spaffed, I don't know, 40 billion to their mates. One of them's literally being investigated by the police in the House of Lords. That bitch. Not a peep. You would think the Tory party ran the BBC. Oh wait, they all went to the same school. What a fucking shock. Not.
After that look radically different to the way it does now?
Absolutely.
Really?
In our first term, we are committed to reducing the waiting list down. We are absolutely committed. Well, it's 2 million appointments every single year, and that's obviously, you know, making sure that, you know, the staff can work weekends and evenings.
Do you think that's good? Do you believe
but the other thing is, Joe, I want to say, look, procurement is a big issue, right? Lots of people in the NHS say that innovators can't get into the NHS in terms of the technology that they have. Technology, we've got to get the NHS into the digital age. It is so important because,
I've heard this many, many times before, showing my age. Is that going to be the silver bullet in terms of transforming the NHS?
It's not going to be the silver bullet, although I agree with you that technology is a big part of this answer. Am I hopeful that Labour could, you know, have some meaningful impact on the NHS? Yes. I think Wes Streeting, Labour's Shadow Health Secretary, speaks more honestly about the state of the NHS.
Do you like the way she said that? I like the way Wes Streeting said, we need to privatise bits of the NHS. Let's make this very clear, ladies and gentlemen. They literally are neoliberals who run our country. Brain dead, fucking morons. Who are just the same as Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan. They sound smarter, but they're just as stupid. Trust me on this shit. Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, welcome to fucking globalisation, ladies and gentlemen. How did that work out for your country? I'm just asking you. As someone who's like an objective observer of this shit, how did that work out for your country or your jobs in your country? Did you like globalization? Even the people who came up with that stupid fucking idea said it was a stupid fucking idea and should never have fucking been implemented. Literally. They said it. The people who fucking made neoliberalism, globalization, they was like, oh shit, we made a mistake. It kind of backfired. No shit, Sherlock Holmes. Fucking did. These people are all fucking stupid. And she's going to agree clearly with what Wes Streeting just said. Oh, privatisation companies are good for you. Fuck off. Just shut up. The reason why China sucks is because it is a corporation. Nobody votes for their fucking leader. They've just got a CEO in perpetuity. The people in the West love China. They just know they can't do it here because everybody would go fucking apeshit if they tried. So they will convince you that it's good for you to be a fucking moron every single day. And the more that you listen to this garbage, the stupider you'll fucking get. That's called subliminal fucking thinking, ladies and gentlemen. Shows like this is why people are fucking dumb. Because they want to see it as a TV show. This is critical fucking thinking exercise, motherfucker. Pay attention. Everything they say is fucking questionable. Because you got the internet, you can check. I should know. I've been streaming politics before you even know what fucking a phone was. Technically speaking. Because you never needed one before until you wanted to go on Facebook, which is new. And people think Facebook is the internet. Are you on crack? MySpace was there way before that shit. You don't even know what ICQ was. That's how fucking new around you are. I'm just saying. So, don't listen to these motherfuckers, but do pay attention. That's for sure. Pay attention.
And how poorly it performs for patients than almost any other politician. But I think there's something more fundamental we have to grapple with here, and it speaks to the point you were starting to make there about retaining doctors. This is not an issue of having too few doctors only, okay? I think we need more staff in the NHS. But if we compare 2019 levels to these post-pandemic 2023 levels, we have 18% more clinical staff, 19% more nurses, 25% more junior doctors. I want to retain the ones that are leaving, but we have significantly more staff, not fewer. And yet fewer people are being seen, fewer emergency and non-emergency appointment admissions are taking place.
You do know she just pulled that shit out of her ass, right? The thing you need to be careful about is when people use statistics, literally, like here, we got, like the Tories will tell you, we've got more police than we've ever had. Is that a fact? No, it's not. But they will tell you, and you'll believe it because you're fucking dumb. The Tory party, literally since they've been in power, have increased your taxes by a fucking boatload. But they're telling you, we're skint. No, the poor people are skint because you keep fucking you tax them. You don't tax the rich with all the money. I showed you Laura Koonsberg from last week before. Laura Koonsberg literally put a graph on the screen and said, can you pay attention? Since 2010, we've never been so-called broke. You can't go broke if you print your own money anyway. That's a fucking fallacy. You get the point. Ever since the Tories have been in power and convinced you that austerity was a good fucking idea, even though I showed a video showing you that that was a mistake in a spreadsheet to come up with the fucking idea of austerity. Computer says no, etc., etc. These fucking cunts are going to tell you there's more GPs, there's more... No, there isn't. Do you think people go on strike for a fucking joke? I'm just saying. We got more doctors and nurses than ever. Why are they on strike then? For a laugh. Convince you, like I said, they want to convince you that you're stupid. And if you listen to these fucking retards, you will be fucking stupid. Especially these right-wingers. And she is not even English. I know that sounds racist, but it's a fact. She's some American chick that was literally imported to tell you this specific shit. Literally, specifically, to convince you that corporations are good for you. Corporations are good for you. Like Wutani Corporation out of fucking aliens. It's fucking nuts. And stupid fucking cunts think they're smart and believe this shit. And then vote. It's mad. The fact that nobody's even mentioned the word alien in this entire shit I've been watching is mental too. You got a guy who literally testified under oath in the United States saying, ladies and gentlemen, fucking aliens. And these twats are like, taxation. I know which one's more real. Fucking aliens is more logical than you living on a planet and paying tax because you're convinced that some of the fucker told you that that's the way you should live your existence. That's bullshit. That's called religion. Oh, well, we don't know how to actually, you know, speak to each other, so we tax them instead. That's fucking shut up. Shut up and read a fucking book. You were always forced to pay tax. Corporations want your money. So how do they get it? What's the best way to rob somebody? Make it a fucking law, you idiots. That's the best way to rob a motherfucker. Make it the law. That's it. It's that simple. If I make it a law, I can rob you. Don't go to jail. Work it out. Gangsters run your planet. Your country's planet. You only do. But gangsters run everything. Not the Illuminati. Not some special weird people in weird hats. Fucking gangsters. Proper ones. They tell you the value of shit and you literally believe it. Because you're dumb.
Hang on, let me
It's all an issue,
well, the
but
Tories have
something
been,
is going
the
badly
Tories have
wrong
been
here.
in power for 13 years. I mean, Luke, perhaps you can answer that question. The Times headline, NHS failing to improve despite rise in budget and staff. The NHS employing, as Kate has said, 16% more doctors than it did 4 years ago and 37% more than in 2010. And Conservative ministers always like to tell me that they've got record amounts going into the NHS, but it's still failing. Those waiting lists aren't coming down and productivity is unbelievably low. Why?
You're absolutely right. And if there's a quick answer to this, then we'd have it and have solved it.
Well, no, you've had 30 years, so it hasn't been quick, that's for sure.
You cut me off on that as well. You're absolutely right. So some of the changes that we brought in with the NHS white.
First of all, does anybody actually remember we had the Labour Party? I mean, as much as you might dislike Tony Blair because he's a fucking cunt who invaded Iraq, was we having any of this discussion at all? At all with the NHS? No, because the amount of money Labour put in, yes, some of it was PPI, so, well, not PPI, sorry, PPE, PPI? Fucking hell, I'm getting confused. So many fucking acronyms. Anyway, private shit. Basically, they had to borrow fuck tons of money because the last government, the Tories, fucking destroyed the NHS. So Labour was like, can we build hospitals, please? Thank you very much. And we'll give you loads of money. That's what happened, right? Private bullshit, whatever. Point being is, anyway, these fuckers have put less money into the NHS since they were in power. I said we've got no money, which was a lie. Literally, all this we don't have money is a lie. Our economy generates 2.2 trillion a year. Let that sink into your tiny fucking brain. You can't even count to a fucking trillion. You can't even count to a million, motherfucker. My country, your country, if you're watching this and you're from the UK, 2.2 trillion each fucking year. Just let that sink in, and that we're broke. We don't go broke, motherfucker. Especially even more so when you print your own fucking money. You know, when the interest rates are going up, that's different. That's economically different. But saying poor people is inflation is a lie. Where's all the money in the economy, one would ask? It's in a bank. And it ain't yours. And it ain't mine. But they paid less tax than you. I'm just saying. Amazon, Facebook, all these fucking motherfuckers running around like gangsters, paying no tax anywhere. Nope. When was the last time you seen? What's that stupid little coffee company called again? The little one with the mad thing on its cup. Looks like fucking some religious symbol. Yet they don't pay tax either. And they got put on the news. Oh, we'll pay tax. A little. What's the point? People are so fucking dumb. The money is with the rich motherfuckers. The reason why everybody's rich, because they don't get fucking taxed. That's not because they're smarter than you. They just don't get taxed enough. Nobody's saying live in a cave. But fuck me, if you're supposed to run an economy based on capitalism, at least don't take the piss. Do it correctly. You've played Monopoly, hopefully, ladies and gentlemen. Monopoly is our system of government at this point. You do know how the game works. Do I need to be specific? No. I'm just saying. And if you own all the bits on the board, what do you eventually do as a society? You end up like the French and have a fucking riot. And we're getting to that stage, ladies and gentlemen. Slowly but surely, people are realizing it's a fucking scam. Really quickly.
Paper to bring in the ICBs is a way of allowing the doctors and the specialists to solve the problem themselves. But we're a year into that, and we're starting to see fruition about breaking down some of those barriers, because they are the ones who are going to solve the problem. As a GP, 15% of my workload was dealt with chasing paperwork. I don't know if Dr. Khan's still there.
She is.
I don't know how much time you spend chasing paperwork, letters, patients coming in saying, you know, I've been prescribed a new drug, doctor, can you prescribe it for me? And you don't have the letter. This kind of inefficiency, that productivity is staggeringly bad. My wife's a GP in the NHS, and when she refers patients, she's on a border. She can't access the blood test from one hospital to another. These are really simple changes that can be made, which the ICBs are looking at. There's £150 million going in to sort this out, but it's not quick enough, because that, if you release the staff, making the working life better for the staff, patients will have better outcomes, and this productivity gap will close.
Why do you think, Dr. Khan, that productivity is so low in the NHS?
So.
Maybe because they're all fucking busy on the fucking BBC getting paid by the taxpayer. Why am I listening to you? Do your fucking job. I'm not paying you to fucking sit on BBC. Do your fucking job, right? They forget one thing though. GPs in this country, private. General practitioner, private, motherfucker. Productivity's low because they want to find a way not to be arsed. It's literally that simple. Pay me for less work. It's not rocket science. if you live in a capitalist society, everybody will strive to do the least amount of work for the most amount of pay. It's not fucking rocket science. We've literally built that into the system. Less work, more money. It's a fact. You ask anybody in the United Kingdom if you can even fucking get a GP. Good luck. I don't know what they're all fucking doing, but they're not fucking saving most people. I'm just saying. Facts. And they get paid pretty fucking well from me and you as taxpayers. They get paid pretty fucking well. £1 million pension? Get the fuck out of here.
I think it's difficult to say that productivity is going low from a GP's perspective. I mean, GPs are dealing with hugely increasing pressures. We know that GPs are carrying out almost 20% more appointments now than they were in 2019. And as Mr. Evans has described, there's an increase in those admin tasks by about 28% in the same period. So GPs are dealing with more complex patients, this rising demand, and a much older population, which means we just need more time to safely manage their needs.
Right. I mean, what do you say, Ava, to the productivity conundrum? More money, more staff, and yet those figures barely move.
I'm really uncomfortable with the word productivity. I always find it very uncomfortable when we use that word.
Seeing more patients, having the waiting list come.
Ava just hit the nail on the head. Productivity, where does that come from? Business. Your fucking life, you are a fucking commodity and you're a customer. That's literally what they call you if you bother to pay attention. Customer. I pay tax. How am I a customer? Explain that to me, please. Well, can't explain, but please do. So I'm a customer, even though I'm a taxpayer. I'm a customer. Well, we want to give you the same service as business. That's not your job. The government's job is not to be a business. It's to be the government. You stupid cunt. I didn't ask you to make me a fucking iPhone, motherfucker, or sell me a house. I pay you tax because that's what we agreed. We agree that I'm not a fucking anarchist and you're doing your fucking job correctly. Do you understand the Magna Carta, why we wrote that shit? Do you understand we don't have a fucking king who makes fucking laws for a specific fucking reason? That he was shit at his job. So we kind of changed it. And we also made sure that corporations don't own the fucking government. Because they're equally as fucking creepy as a king. Same shit. One's got a crown and one sells you a phone which is made in a country that pays them 10 pence to make your flashy phone. I spent £700 on a phone. Well, you're a fucking moron then, innit? Just saying. You have to be a gobshite to spend that much money on a phone. A fucking phone. Do you look at a dictionary and it says twat next to it? Most of the time. That's you. You iPhone fucking moron. You are a cunt. You have to Google literally what HTTP stands for. That's how stupid you fucking are. And you got a smartphone. What's the point in having a smartphone if you're a dumb cunt? Questions, ladies and gentlemen. Questions.
Calm down.
Sure. But whenever we use that on, with humans, I think, you're kind of treating them like technology or like a piece of machinery. Not you, but this was a word that was used on the other side of the table, with all due respect. But I mean, I don't actually think that Dr. Luke there answered the question about why for 13 years, you have been in charge and you have been looking at this. OK, there's an NHS white paper. What help is that to someone right now who's trying to get a GP appointment?
And you're right. So let's look at all the 4 different nations in the UK that are run by 4 different parties are all struggling with the problem. As we heard from the doctor, you've got an ageing population with more difficult, complex needs. You've got more of a splintered professional workforce to help support supplementary. The problem is that means GPs are repeatedly, one after the other, dealing with more and more complex patients. And that's really tough because we've got an ageing population. And you've got to remember how quickly technology moves.
But Luke,
for sorting that.
Let's listen to this little mad nugget of golden information. We've got an ageing population. Who's paying their pensions, ladies and gentlemen? Who? We don't make babies. Who's going to pay your pension? You do understand how this shit works, hopefully. Right. Who's paying your pension? It ain't you. I already know that. Do you know that? Hopefully. But then in the same breath, they will say, migrants are bad for the country. What they're trying to say, if you pay attention, is we don't like foreigners, but we're going to cry when the pension goes up to 74 or some stupid fucking number. The reason why the pension age has gone up is because they need to make sure that some fucker gets taxed to give you a pension. The reason why it's so high, because we don't make babies. It's that simple. Start shagging people. Clearly ask permission before you go ahead and do that weird shit, right? Make babies, your pension age will come down. Like, it's like, people think it's rocket science because I'm a politician or some stupid shit. No. If you can count to fucking 10, this shit's pretty simple. People pay tax in a capitalist society. We tax the generation that comes before to pay the pension for the people who are alive now. I'm paying tax right now for the pension for somebody else. You do understand that's how the system works, right, ladies and gentlemen? Without people, we're fucked. And as the gentleman rightly said, we've got an aging population, which means we're staying alive for longer. What goes up? Fucking pension age. Because you can't tax your way out of capitalising. This is the funny bit. You can't, people say, well, tax is bad. No. Tax is a fucking requirement. It's just where it's going is the problem. Good example. People always cry in America about the tax. Right? In America. Whatever. They spend £1 trillion nearly a year doing fucking nothing. Literally nothing. You can't make it up. Literally $780 billion on their military, and they've never fucking won a war. Not one. You can't say you won a war if your mates were fucking fighting with you. If you look at the United States, when have they ever won a war on their own? They haven't. Literally. That's historical facts, ladies and gentlemen. But you're convinced that is the other way around. They couldn't even beat the Vietnamese, for fuck's sake. Did they win a war in North Korea? No. They didn't. Just because they stopped shooting at each other doesn't mean you won. Just means you failed as a fucking empire. Well, a bit like my country. You get the point, anyway. These fuckers convince you about stupid shit. And they want to be like, oh, what? She's saying, why is the country shit? Because the fucking Tories are in power. That's why the country's shit. They literally said austerity was a good idea. When it wasn't. Everybody knows it wasn't. Because it was literally in a spreadsheet. That was a mistake. Every single budget these fucktards have made is calculated just to rob the poor, as per fucking usual. Boris Johnson, told you before, borrowed $500 billion. Nobody cared. And that was just before COVID. You've got no money. Oh, the debt. The one that you created, do you mean? Yeah, that one. Okay, fine. Just saying. We've got 40 new hospitals. No, we haven't. We've got more police officers than ever. No, we haven't. All this shit that fucking right-wingers fucking love being invaded, for fuck's sake. What, like the Romans? I know. Dude, have you seen the history of Britain? Anybody? We got invaded by the fucking Vikings, for fuck's sake. And the Romans. And everybody else. And now you're complaining a bunch of muppets on a fucking dinghy? Please. Racists is the problem. Racists. And people be like, I'm not racist. Yes, you are. You live in Britain. saying you're not racist is saying you don't like cups of fucking tea. Why do you think Nigel Farage is popular? Do you think he's just a fucking figment of your imagination or some shit? No. He is literally the embodiment of xenophobia in Britain. People love the guy. Because he says shit they're too scared to say. And he doesn't say the word and doesn't say that word. And he gets away with it. But he's still saying the same shit. Even a black lady who was the Home Secretary was a racist fucking cunt. Just, like, literally pointing out the fucking obvious. Suella Braverman. Most racist fucking cunt ever. She was black. Like, literally, let that sink in. I'm not supposed to say it. But you know what I'm gonna, you know what I want to say. Put it that way. Begins with house. Hard ER at the end.
So about the 1.6 billion delayed discharge, there are 13,000 people in hospital who do not need to be there. They could fill 26 hospitals. We're spending more money on recruitment and agency workers, about £3 billion of the budget. So we really have got to look at the social care workforce strategy,
party,
because that
Wales's
is having a huge
Wales's
impact.
figures, the SNP figures. I mean, we don't like to do this,
but you have had 13 years.
It is
real life experience, yeah. My friend I used to go to school with, she grew up to be a nurse. No jokes. Nearly died. If you know me, you know that's actually true. I'm in the fucking A&E thing department. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, fucking A&E. Anyway, I'm there. She walks in. Bit mental, because I used to go to school with her. I haven't seen her for like, I don't know, fucking 10, 20 years or whatever. She shows up. I start kind of laughing because it's me mate, who I've known since, well, she's been my ex-girlfriend, to be fair, that's even weirder. But whatever, anyway. So she comes in. She explains to me she doesn't work for the NHS. She's an agency nurse. I said, why are you fucking agency nurse? The NHS doesn't pay me enough. That doesn't explain anything to me at this point. That's crazy, because you get paid more by a private corporation with my tax than you would if you just had a job. Yep. Weird as fuck. So therefore, that's a lot of waste. There's your waste right there. Ban agency workers. Sorry, babe, I love you. You're banned. Ban them. Because that's clearly a fucking scam. Because they're taking my taxes, giving it to a private corporation, who then still somehow scams the government for so much money. They can pay her even more than a fucking nurse, who I pay tax for as well, at the same time. What's the fucking point? You're wasting me money. Twice.
Unfortunately, you have failed. It is the number one important issue alongside economy for the British public. They're really worried.
Post have written an article that says across the world, you know, GPs there's a shortage, a dearth of them. It's a really difficult place for any developed nation to try and deal with an ageing population. You only have to look on what's going on in Japan to deal with it. Everyone is struggling with the right answer, but simple things, I would argue, like improving the technology for the staff, like putting extra protection in.
Yeah, let's look at Japan. Average age of a virgin, 34. Strange, right? 34. Average age of a virgin in Japan. If you like virgins, go to Japan, is the point. And they've also got mad money situations. You know, Japan is literally being broke since forever. They seem pretty happy over there. I'm very old. They drink tea too in Japan, just so you know. It's mad. Honestly, it is. These people just waffle. It's crazy. Well, you can look at Japan. Yeah. I watched manga videos, bitch. Just saying. I'm not that fucking young. I wish I was.
on list sizes would make a huge difference to the work quality and therefore patient outcome and better continuity.
This
and
is Labour's plan, Luke.
well, but it's happening at the moment.
That's exactly what you were saying. It is not.
It's happening at
I'm
the
sorry
moment.
to side with this part of the table as well, but I think we have to talk about productivity. I don't think that's a dirty word. I think where the
There we go. The little I'm a princess. I'm really not one of them scary Republicans. I talk like I'm very articulate and English when I'm not. I'm an American who gets paid by the Republican donors who banned abortion in the United States. But I'm quite happy to pretend that I give a shit. And productivity isn't a dirty word. Get fucked in your ass by a corporation, bitch. Yeah, okay, bitch. Fuck off. Like, she's so nice when she's literally fucking stabbing you in the face. You know. Is that hating you? I'm sorry. Please. Yeah, stab me in the fucking eyeball, motherfucker. Crackhead, honestly.
Do you think the NHS is the best healthcare creation ever, or if, like me, you look at the outcomes for patients and you think it's not so great? It is not controversial to...
No one said it was great. Its principle is the only reason why the NHS literally is why everybody loves it. It's the principle of it. The principle. Like walking past a tramp on the street, knowing you have money, regardless of what they are, who they are, you feel empathy at that point. Something you clearly fucking lack, you sad cunt, clearly. And you give them money. Have a nice... I don't give a fuck what you spend on drugs, alcohol, fuck, I don't fucking care. Maybe Greg's. Hopefully Greg's. Because you're literally on the floor, whatever. So, empathy. The NHS is there to look after people regardless of how much money you have. And these fuckers hate the entire fucking idea that you are empathetic as a human being. And you want to go, I don't actually really care that I pay tax if somebody else can get help. Most people don't go to fucking hospital every fucking day. But you get taxed every fucking day. Right? What's the most beloved institution? The NHS. Because it's got fucking a reason behind it. Unlike the BBC. Used to somehow be loved. But even that is shit at this point. NHS is fine. Because it's the reason behind it. And this fucking bitch is going to convince you productivity isn't a dirty word. I don't work in your corporation, motherfucker. This is a country, not a business. And I've heard the BBC, people they've interviewed on the BBC say this out loud with a straight face. UK PLC. They literally would say out loud. They're the fucking creepy ones. UK PLC. The fuck's PLC mean? One would ask. Publicly listed company. That's what PLC stands for. And they say UK PLC. No. Stop it. Stop doing that. I am not a fucking statistic in your shitty corporation fucking spreadsheet. The reason why we're in such a fucking shithole as a planet is because people like this fucking cunt tells you productivity isn't a dirty word when it is. Especially when you're fucking not the guy making all the money and you're a slave fucking worker like most people in fucking China. Literally. Who make your stupid iPhones. Do you think they can afford iPhones? Don't think so. And this bitch is like, oh, productivity, not a dirty word. It is. They get paid to do a hard job. Don't ask them to be a CEO. I just don't. So stop using productivity, which is a business term, to describe someone's hard work as a nurse or some shit. Teachers, same shit. Firefighters, police officers, public sector workers, shall we say. Train drivers, whatever. Stop it. Just stop this we're a business bullshit. Everything's always materialistic to these people. There's no such thing as being a nice human being, apparently. Can't. Not allowed to. Because it's all about the fucking Benjamins of these fuckers.
Suggest that we would like to have a public sector system that is able to do more with the same amount of money, especially now that it has record level highs of more resources. And if you're going to be pumping that kind of money into the NHS, simply for it to stay afloat and to have fewer people in hospitals being seen in emergency and non-emergency admissions compared to pre-pandemic, with more money, with more staff.
Literally keep saying there's more money. That's not true. Literally not true. But she's telling you that there's more money in the NHS. I'll tell you the actual number. When the fucking Labour Party were in office, they spent 4.3% of our GDP on the NHS. When the Tories took over and convinced you that austerity was an actual thing, they slashed it down to 2.3%. Boom. Real terms, not even fucking close. Not more money. Go and, if you don't believe me, go look at the OBS figures. Go look at any fucking statistic you want and compare it to 1997. Not even fucking close to more money. That's like saying we've got more cops when we don't. And I know that because the Prime Minister literally sacked 10,000 of them and then wants you to applaud them that he's trying to get them back after he sacked them. What a twat. And that guy's the foreign secretary, by the way. That gobshite. And his mate, George Osborne, who somehow got a job from writing in a stupid newspaper to now the head of the British Museum. That makes sense. Do you know why? Because that was his major when he went to Oxford or Cambridge. Forgot which one. But he was a fucking historian. He didn't do well as the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Do you know why I know that? Don't cunt give us fucking pie tax and bedroom tax. Fucking knob.
We have to be able to say something's going wrong there. And you know, that is the human way of saying productivity.
But you're apportioning the blame there to the GPs who are tackling, you know, a huge tide of patients.
I'm not suggesting that the GPs are at fault at all. I think that it's the system that fails doctors and patients. And
it's the system. It's the system that's broken. Let's all use the American system where you go bankrupt. Even though you got no money, you go bankrupt anyway. Like, just listen to this bitch very carefully. It's the system that's broken. We need a private insurance. Like in America. Because where do you think I'm from? Literally mental. All these people who say the NHS is broken are lying to you. Underfunded, yes. Way too many bureaucrats, yes. But the principle of the NHS is why people love it. It's the idea of what it means to not go broke just because you're sick. Not going broke is pretty fucking important, especially in today's fucking world. The NHS is more important than ever before. It's all these fucking idiots just want to take your money. And that's the NHS is doing the opposite. It's just you saying, we'll help you. Doesn't matter what it costs in terms of upfront. Like, everybody knows we pay tax. But the idea is there that you don't have a fucking heart attack while you're having a heart attack. That's not very helpful, is it? No. And waiting times and all that shit, that would happen in a population that is this big with the system that we have. Don't complain. It's not going to be perfect, but everybody knows it's not perfect. But I don't want to fucking see people literally die and go bankrupt because they've got no fucking money. That's insanity to me. It's an anathema. I just don't understand how Americans think that's reasonable to your fellow human being to be such a fucking cunt.
A huge digital translation that we haven't even spoken about yet. We haven't even talked about.
And unfortunately, we haven't got time to do that today. But Dr. Nada Khan, thank you very much for joining us for that discussion. Let's talk about Brexit and about Nissan, because were some of the warnings about the economic impact of Brexit just too gloomy. Let's have a look at this Daily Mail headline. Nissan makes U-turn over Brexit, the headline says, as bosses admit they were too gloomy about leaving the EU and insist the UK will be its European base for the foreseeable future.
Of course it will. We are the United Kingdom. No, dumb fucking cunts. And we already bribed Nissan anyway. We just literally joined a trade fucking thingy with whom, one would ask. Oh, I don't know. Japan? Where's Nissan originally from? It'd be breaking news if Volkswagen said that shit. I'd be like, oh, that's a bit mad. That's left of field. It isn't. Especially if you just said you can just do shit for free, Nissan. Because we just signed a trade deal with your fucking country. You don't get paid. You're too gloomy is a stupid fucking thing to say, really. Oh, Brexit's going to be a bad idea. No, it's not. Brexit was a stupid idea. For one reason, in my opinion. Just my own humble opinion. Never ask British people anything. Because they will lie. Or tell the truth. Think about that very slowly in your mind. I was going to shop the other day. I had two options. Some guy stopped me in a car and said, "Hey mate, where is X?" I had two choices in my mind. I could literally send this fucking cunt who I've never met in my life the complete wrong way. Or be nice and tell him where he should be going. Hopefully you know I told him where he's going. God bless him. Hope he got there in the end. Anyway, give him directions. If you're that stupid and you live in Britain, you should know our culture. Right? You should know it. You should know Dad's Army, Benny Hill, fucking Alf Garner, etc. Do you honestly think in your fucking right mind that asking people in the United Kingdom, do you want to leave the EU or stay in it, was a good fucking idea? You know the answer. I know you're laughing behind your computer because you know the answer. Like me. Stupid idea. If he would never have asked that question, we'd still be in the EU. That's the fucking point. We'd still be in the EU right now. Fine. Nobody would give a fuck. The fact that he asked the question is the funniest bit about it all. And like Danny called him, twat. Because he's a gobshite. You literally have to be stupid to think that was going to go well. Fucking hell. I already knew we'd left. As soon as he said we're going to have a vote, I was like, this is not going to end well for anybody. But I'm going to participate. I voted to leave. No jokes. And even I knew that was a stupid thing to do. But you know what? You only get once in a lifetime to troll your own fucking country. I'm just saying. I thought it was funny, personally. Because it is.
Nissan is investing £2 billion in a plan to build 3 electric car models in Sunderland. The Japanese company said there'd been a negligible effect from leaving the European Union. Now, that is a change from their position at the time of the referendum, which had issued warnings about the impact of Brexit, even suggesting they may have to pull out of the UK. You heard in the headlines, but let's play you a little bit.
Yeah, may have to pull out. And then we give them loads of tax breaks and said, don't do that. We literally gave them money. Why do you think they were still here? We literally gave them money when we left. It was like, oh, don't leave. Here's some dosh. Like, literally, we gave them money. We gave Nissan money. And now that we're in the fucking TPPT, CPTPT, whatever fucking that stupid agreement is with the Asian countries or whatever the fuck it is. Now they don't pay any tax at all. Bravo. Like, it shocked anybody? No.
More of the warnings about the threats to the car industry, because it was a key plank of so-called Project Fear in the referendum. Let's have a listen to David Cameron from the Remain campaign.
Think of the impact.
Okay, remember this, right? When you listen to this fucking dumb fucking cunt, just remember what I just told you. and like literally watch him with a straight face. Listen. But before you do, he resigned because he lost. It's not the fact that he lost, it's the fact that he even proposed the question is batshit crazy. It's like when Argentina went to war with the British, even though we sold them their weapons. Imagine how stupid that is. Like, literally. We went to war with Argentina. We sold them the weapons that they used to shoot at us. That's fucking dumb. Bit like this guy. Fucking dumb.
On the car workers at Cowley in Oxford who make the cars right behind me. Think of the wider impact. Fewer businesses, fewer jobs, a smaller economy, and less money for our schools and hospitals. Add those things together. The shock impact, the uncertainty impact, the trade impact, and you put a bomb...
Yeah? That you literally fucking gave the British people. You muppet. Like, just listen to it. Like, all the shit he's saying that's negative. He was willing to risk all that. For what, exactly? Why? Why would you literally do that? Unless you're the most narcissistic fucking cunt. Oh, wait. He is. And now, he's our foreign secretary. Fuck my fucking life.
Bomb under our economy. And the worst thing is, we would have lit...
You literally placed the bomb. You literally placed the bomb. And I said, I'll be happy to light it. Bitch, has this motherfucker never heard of Guy Fawkes? I'm just saying, because this shit's funny right now. You never heard of Guy Fawkes? Anybody? Anybody ever heard of Guy Fawkes? What's Guy Fawkes famous for? Exactly. And this twat is Guy Fawkes. Literally put a bomb on our country. just so we could stay in power against Nigel Farage. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, wow. Like, let this sink in. He was so scared of Nigel Farage. He went to the far right. That's why we got the rest of these nutters who were already in the Tory party, who literally were salivating at this prospect. Like porn, honestly. And you wonder why Suella Braverman got a job? Well, we know why. Because they're all ass lickers. And they will say fucking anything to stay in power. Bit like Donald Trump. Fucking also a nutcase. And the Congress people. Nutters. Told you, the only qualification these fuckers have is personality. That's it. They should never be anywhere near a fucking corporation. Right? No. Because a corporation would say, what are you qualified to actually do, Mr. Cameron? I fucked a pig. Not really a qualification if you ask me. Just saying. Well, I went to school. Pretty sure most people went to fucking school. I still don't want you to fix my fucking electricity if you're a plumber though. Just saying. What? Oh! Say something. Say something, David. Say it. Tell me, I believe. I believe. You know what? I should make a poster. Instead of a UFO, have his face. I want to believe.
The fuse ourselves.
Well, explosive rhetoric there. From...
Explosive rhetoric. From the guy who was so dumb. He thought the British people were going to say yes. Like, literally. I predicted the election 7 months before it even happened. I literally showed people this is what's going to happen 7 months before it even did. I wish I still had that fucking YouTube channel because I would literally show you it. All the people in the comments section, no, 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 no. Yes. Fucking yes. Apparently you can't understand the fucking map. So yeah. The red wall didn't just randomly disappear from the fucking Labour Party. Just pointing out the obvious. Where were the most leave voting places in the country? Oh, look on a map would help. Oh, look, they're all in the north. Just pointing out the fucking obvious.
The former Prime Minister David Cameron, now, of course, the Foreign Secretary. Luke, was he too gloomy and was the party too gloomy about it?
Oh, gosh, 7 years on.
I know, a trip down memory lane.
Absolutely, we're still having this debate here. Look, I'm pleased to see that Nissan have changed their position as the facts have changed. I think that's very healthy. When he was asked...
Not facts, mate. Tax. Tax changed. Not facts. Tax. Tax changed the facts. Literally, tax. See what I'm saying? Like, this show's just mad.
You know, he said he was surprised to see why people are asking why the UK, because we've got the skills and we're a great place. One thing businesses want is certainty.
We invented the Industrial Revolution, motherfucker. Of course it's a good fucking place. But I wouldn't ask people, do you want to leave or join the EU kind of fucking question. That's like saying, who do you want to win in World War II / football? Me? Clearly. I don't want a bunch of fucking krauts running around the place doing mad shit, gassing people. Fuck no. No, no, no. That's literally, if you read any of our newspapers, you would know that's not an actual joke. That's the truth. Read the newspaper. Anytime you play the Germans, you will literally think we're at war and it's 1945 or some stupid fucking shit. Because these fuckers love banging on about the war because they're xenophobes. And also, they just hate anything that's to do with the left. They literally said, and this is not a joke, they literally said one of our politicians is a Marxist Russian spy. Literally. Ed Miliband. They literally said he is Red Ed. If you know anything about McCarthyism, you'd know that should be just a red flag anyway. If people are trying to scare you about the very people they help create, pretty mad. Good example. Fucking China. Oh, well, the Chinese are doing this, the Chinese are doing that. Who do you think created China as a global superpower? Kind of. Whatever the fuck it is. Right-wing Americans. Right-wing Americans. Who sold you down the river. Just like Margaret Thatcher. Just like Ronald Reagan. These fucking cunts created China. And now they're going to tell you China's bad. It wasn't bad fucking 5 minutes ago when you were making me a fucking iPhone. Why is it so bad now? iPhones are still made in what country? China. So, what's your problem? Oh, we don't like their human rights record. You blew up an entire country and lied on the TV to everybody. Saddam Hussein did not cause 9/11, but you blew his ass up anyway, right? Oh, he had weapons of mass destruction. The ones that you sold them? Do you mean that them ones? You're complaining that he's got weapons of mass destruction that you fucking sold him, ladies and gentlemen. Go and look it up. You can see him right there shaking his hand. We're mates. You want? Give us money, oil. give us your oil money. Just give us your shit. We hate the Saudis. Who created Saudi Arabia, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, the very same people who were telling you that the government's too big. Right wingers again. Do you think they care? No. They will tell you fucking lies all day though. All day long. Fuck the Saudis. Fuck them robbing cunts. Okay. What you buy oil in again, if you don't mind me asking? The dollar. Silly me.
We're 7 years on, we're getting that now. We're starting to see the fruition of, £2 billion worth of investment there. £29.5 billion yesterday into the UK at the summit. I mean, this is a good start. There's a long way to go, don't get me wrong, but this is important that they've come out and said that we see a stable base, and it serves a signal across the world that Britain's open for business, come and invest, and that's what we're seeing.
Do you think the Foreign Secretary understands that now?
Yes, having heard him speak, I think he was very good when he came to the 1922 committee, without giving too much away.
Talking to Conservative MPs.
Talking to Conservative MPs. He was challenged on that, and I think he's come and he's been out in public and said, look, he is fully committed to where we're going, doesn't want to look backwards, wants to look forward. And I think, actually, regardless, this isn't a party political thing. I think everyone needs to get on with it. That was
It is a party political thing, though. That's the point. It is a party political thing. Because you fucking made it one. It technically wasn't one until you were going to lose an election and then made it one. That's the difference, pal. That's literally the difference. You made it political by asking British people a really fucking stupid question. I'm just literally saying that. You are literally a fucking cunt. And so is David Cameron. In fact, he's a twat. As his actual name is, twat.
Decision made by the public. Let's crack on. And this is the kind of thing that we want to see more of. I think we can all agree on that.
You voted to leave the EU?
I did.
Right, so you didn't agree with David Cameron then, obviously. I mean, you campaigned to remain, like most of the Labour Party. Was Project Fear overblown?
Look, Labour's looking forward and not backward.
Looking forward, yeah.
Look, we are.
High five. She's equally shit too. Because she's admitting that she fucking lost and she's equally fucking stupid too. So, I'm just saying. Like I said, the question, it's like, fuck the outcome, right? Leave or stay. Not really the point. The fact is, if you're that dumb, you would even ask it. Why do you think you ask questions, ladies and gentlemen? I want to point out a psychology question for you guys. It's just like, as a thing, regardless of the stupid job. Do you know why you ask questions, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know why you ask questions? To confirm the answer that you already guessed is correct. That's why you ask questions. A question is just annoyance at this point. You already know the answer. You're just wondering which one's true. Right. That's the point. So if I say, do you want to leave the EU? I should probably know the answer to that, right? It's either yes or fucking no. The problem is these muppets, in their fucking wisdom, clearly don't live in the same reality I share with them. Because I know the answer to that stupid fucking question. And we have the result. But why would you ask it thinking you would win? Arrogance, to say the least. I mean, it's not a football game. There's no chance involved in this. I literally can name you very famous TV shows that would literally give you evidence of why that would be a stupid idea to begin with. Has nobody watched Fawlty Towers? Anybody? No? And you honestly going to say to British people who are mostly still old, do you want to leave the EU? Yes, sir, is their first fucking answer. That's exactly what they're going to say. There's no way they're ever going to say, we want to stay. Unless you're some fucking retard who thinks the EU is a good idea anyway. And they mostly go on holiday. That's why they fucking voted, yeah.
Under Keir Starmer, we are a changed Labour Party, and we...
By the way, can I just say, I love the Netherlands. So if you're in the Netherlands, I still love you. Not the specific person, the country. Fuck that bitch.
We are looking forward. Manufacturing is really important to our communities. I come from the West Midlands. The automotive industry, hugely important. I'm really pleased that Nissan sees that expertise and is obviously investing in those good quality jobs. There's a huge amount in supply chains, for example. Labour has an automotive strategy. We know, though, that Nissan has been saying there are two things that they want support from the government: electrification, business hasn't had certainty, and, of course, on energy bills, support around, supporting their business model.
But were they right? We saw Harriet Harman there too, senior Labour politician. Was she right to warn about the downsides of Brexit to the economy?
Yeah. Even, like I said, even as someone who voted to leave, I can tell you it's a stupid fucking idea. So, yes. And I can tell you how much it cost every year when we left the EU. 100 billion quid per year. 100 billion. No jokes. Do you know how much we spend on the NHS, ladies and gentlemen, every year? 84 billion quid. We lose the exact same amount that we pay for the NHS a year. But these fuckers don't care. That's the point. They will do it for political gain. That's all. They don't give a fuck about actually running the country. They just want to stay in power. I've got a sad feeling, which is creepy, but I've got a feeling that something's going to happen and these fuckers are going to be either here even longer than they already have been, which is creepy. They're going to do a Donald Trump and they think this time they'll get away with it somehow. I honestly believe that that's going to happen. I don't want to be a scaremonger, but literally they looked at Donald Trump and went, that's actually not a bad idea. Lying. I mean, we got away with it for so long. Let's just do something really strange where we literally don't have to have an election yet. I'm literally saying that out loud just so people can clip it. Literally clip it. I honestly think these fucking nutballs, and most of them are fucking crazy nutballs. I mean, have you seen Suella Braverman and Kemi Badenoch? These are literally batshit crazy ladies. Rushy, whatever his fucking name is. No one voted for that cunt. Nobody. I'm the Prime Minister. On whose authority? I feel like fucking Cartman. Who voted for you, motherfucker? I didn't. Pretty sure Britain didn't. Who voted you? The Tory party. Because that's our parliamentary system. It's fucking broken then, innit? Just because you've got no fucking balls to go to the country and say, do you want me to be the Prime Minister? Nope. We don't want to ask you that question. Because they will know the answer, don't they, ladies and gentlemen? They know the answer. That's why you haven't got an election. The last time they literally had the balls to ask the British people, do you want me to be the job man person, was Boris Johnson. And what did that rotate around? The very fucking scenario that they created. Brexit. They created the mess and then asked you, help us. We made a mess. Vote for him. Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson eventually gets the sack. Who takes over from Boris Johnson? Fucking Liz Truss. What are you most famous for, Liz Truss? I lasted not as long as the letters. You shouldn't be famous for that as a Prime Minister. I'm sorry. You are incompetent. Goodbye. Who's next on the fucking to-do list? Me, Tiny Pants. Me, Mr. Tiny Pants. He's worth 700 million quid or some stupid shit. I forgot how much he's worth. I think he's poor compared to his wife. Which is mad. People bang on about the Queen. Bro, the Prime Minister makes the Queen look like a Trump. Facts. So anyway, that twat is now the Prime Minister. The same guy who said let them die during COVID. Let them die. Bitch. And he's the Prime Minister. He literally said that. You know why? Because it's literally in COVID. But they don't show you COVID shit in it. No, I can't show you that. Not interesting. Well, it's not interesting. The Prime Minister literally said when he was the Chancellor, let them die. You think Boris Johnson is a cunt? Who also got a fine? Who literally also broke COVID rules and got fined along with Boris Johnson? The fucking Prime Minister did the exact same shit. Why is he protected? Who knows? He also got a fine. he was also at the parties that were in parties. He got fined by the Metropolitan Police, and so did Boris Johnson. We know that because you can go and look it up. But somehow, this guy is squeaky clean. Is he fuck? Is he fuck? Ugh, I hate the Tories. I hate politicians in general. But the Tories today, fucking disgrace. I would rather have Thatcher. Listen to me carefully. Thatcher. I would rather have Thatcher. Because at least she had a clue what she was doing. I don't agree with it. Don't agree with Thatcher. But she wasn't a fucking rat like these people were. You know, you look back at politicians that you don't agree with. But you can tell. There's something about them, right? You can tell. They tried to do shit that was meaningful. These fuckers don't even care. They just want to take your money and give it to rich people. Because that's how sad they are. Fucking cunts.
Not perfect. We still don't have a veteran agreement. There's still lots of bureaucracy. I speak to businesses all the time. They are saying it's very difficult to get products into the country. We're having to put that money onto consumers because we're having to pay more. We could simplify it. There's a lot more to do, and Labour is absolutely committed to work with business to address that.
It's another thing to suggest Brexit's been good for the economy, though, isn't it, Kate? Because actually, overall...
This speech did not fill me for confidence. When I talk to business means, yeah, nothing's going to change. Nothing. Maybe it will. I don't know. Bit of a pessimist at this point, though. I've seen so much shit. Listening to these fucktards lie all the time, every day. It's just, that's what upsets me. That they just lie and they believe their own fucking lies. It's mad.
Overall, according to the Office for Budget Responsibility, hasn't UK trade and GDP been damaged?
GDP is a little more controversial, actually, in the sense that it was only in September that the Office for National...
Gross domestic product, which no one cares about. If you look at it, it's the stupidest thing ever. If you compare the GDP with the FTSE, have fun, because that's mad by itself. It ain't the same shit. They don't even talk about the stock market anymore, because the stock market is literally on crack. It's just rich people playing with other rich people's money. GDP isn't even in the same ballpark when it comes to madness. Trust me. Doesn't mean shit. You print your own money from thin air. GDP is an index, like a spreadsheet, and it's fucking broken.
National Statistics significantly revised upwards the UK's estimated economic growth.
But I think the OBR is still sticking to that 4% smaller for the UK economy as a forecast, admittedly, than we would have been if we'd stayed in the EU.
I think those forecasts are brought into question when you have significant revisions like 2%. We thought...
No, it's -4. Let me make some things clear here. Well, she's lying for a start, and I voted to leave. We literally lost money. It's what happens when you have a divorce. We had a divorce from the EU. We have to pay them some money. And the trade is going to be more expensive. The upside, if you want to consider it an upside, which I personally would, you can make deals to do whatever the fuck you want at this point, which is shockingly mad, because we made a deal with Nissan, aka Japan. I don't know if we're locked into anything because I haven't read the actual details, but it's mad to leave one trading block to join another one. That's a bit strange. I would rather we didn't do that, really. I don't like trading blocks anyway. You know why I don't like trading blocks. They're so fascist, fucking weird, fucking cunts. So, I don't like that. I would rather be an independent nation that's sneaky. Just deals with all kind of countries. You get what I'm saying? Be sneaky. Don't join big trading blocks. That's why I fucking hate the EU. I don't hate people in the EU. I hate what the idea of the EU is. The EU was set up to rival the United States. Read the book, it's right there. The European Union was not about stopping another war. If you believe that, you're a fucking dope. The United States was the biggest market on the planet. And the politicians in the EU, not in the EU, European countries, should say, was like, we need some way to fight against America when it comes to money. What did they do? They set up a fake version of the United States. It's called Europe, literally, documented, right there. And it was set up by a fascist and his mates.
This summer, that the economy was...
Got fuck all to do with your freedoms, your protections, and all the stupid ideological bullshit you want to hug a tree about. No. Pure, unadulterated fucking greed. Let me remind you, companies and corporations built other people's tanks. George W. Bush's granddad, Pappy Bush, shall we call him, was brought in front of Congress of the United States for trading with the enemy during World War II, motherfucker. These people don't care what you think. They care about power and money. And this bitch is one of their fucking minions. Special fucking snowflake over here.
Still below its pre-pandemic levels. We now know it recovered. In December 2021, the UK was not an outlier in advanced economies. It was actually quite average, and I think that has been a real hit to the Brexit argument. To your point, Joe, Brexit and whether or not it's going to be a success has always been and always will be a choice. This is no guarantee that it's going to be successful, but there are choices that the Labour Party is making to decide that they're actually going to make a...
What choice does the Labour Party have? Really? None. Oh, you can have a choice. Good luck trying to get elected. Good luck. You won't. Keir Starmer's one thing at this point. Won't touch Brexit with a fucking barge pole. And rightly so. Stupidest thing to argue about. And he tried to argue about it. It literally nearly destroyed the Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn. You mightn't like him. He fucking hated fucking Europe. Fucking hated it. And so did Tony Benn. Two of the most left-leaning people in the UK political scene. Didn't want to touch Europe at all. Threw him out. Bye. You hate Jews. Goodbye.
A good go of it, and I think this Nissan story is just more proof of that.
Were people like David Cameron too gloomy at the time?
Well, I think it was perfectly reasonable to point out the downsides of Brexit. There are trade-offs to any decision. I think they were also
They didn't just point out the downsides, they said it would be disastrous.
No, sure. And look, it is absolutely remarkable that you have politicians standing outside car manufacturing companies that are now getting £2 billion worth of private, mostly private, I should say, investment. Yeah, I think in many cases they were too gloomy, but I suppose what I'm trying to get at here is this idea that Brexit is perfect or Brexit is a disaster always has been, and I think always will be wrong. It's a choice on the part of politicians and on companies who respond to politicians.
Who thought, like I said, it would be a good fucking idea to even mention it, like out loud. Like, why would you do that? It's definitely on politicians and the very same dumbass motherfucker who literally said, let's ask the British people if we're xenophobic, which we are. Like, I can tell you that. Proud xenophobic. Just saying. I like cups of tea. Whatever. Anyway. Yes. And who's that guy? Oh, he's the foreign secretary? That is funny. Like, honestly, if I wanted to write a comedy sketch, which I probably should never do because, one, I'm bad at spelling, and two, nobody would read it anyway. Or watch her. She's right, though. What a clusterfuck. And now he's the fucking foreign secretary. Imagine being at a table with the guy who's so dumb. Everybody warned him it's a stupid idea. And talking to him like he's anybody of interest. Who's David Cameron? The Brexit dude. Oh. Bring him in. Fucking moron. The whole thing just makes me sad. As someone who's a proud Englishman. Makes me sad. That we've got such a shite fucking government. Please help. Just get rid of them. They're garbage. I'm not saying Labour's much better, but Like I said, I'm trying to be optimistic here. Fucking hope so. Or maybe I'm just a fool. Hey.
As to what they're going to do with it.
I mean, just because Nissan says now the downsides are negligible of Brexit as they see it, were those politicians wrong or were they right about the hit to the economy?
Well, those downsides are somewhat negligible for them because they've also had help from the government and they have been incentivised.
See, at least Ava's on the ball. See, Ava. By the way, if you don't know who Ava is, she works for Politics Joe. Which, to be fair, I do like and dislike sometimes. It depends on what kind of garbage they talk about. But Ava is literally right. Government subsidies. Nissan didn't come out saying Brexit's a good idea now. They literally was like, well, we can't send our cars to your biggest market, which is Europe. Hello. So we're leaving. The British Tories. Don't do that. It's some money. And then we go and sign a trade deal with the fucking country. Japan. So I'm pretty sure Nissan's happy. They get fuck tons of money. And you know the funny part is, the people who own Nissan is the fucking country, goddammit, corporation that said our cars don't need to be electric. What? Yeah, we don't make electric cars. And you know what they did? They sacked the guy because he's a fucking idiot. Like Mary Barra, a GM. Okay, tangents. Bear with me. I always do tangents anyway. So Mary Barra is the CEO of GM, General Motors. Utter fucking nutcase, by the way. She said she invented electric cars and is the leader in the world in electric cars. Pretty sure that's not true, Mary Barra. But apparently she thinks so. Even though she's literally going to go bankrupt. Most of these car companies, like Nissan, all these other fucking weirdo, VW, they're all fucked. Fucked beyond belief. First of all, they don't know how to fucking build an electric car. And all the countries they operate in have unions. You can't sack them all. Oh, no. You have to pay them all. They're going to go broke pretty quick. They already got bailed out, remember, in 2010 when they had no money. They've got no money now because nobody wants to buy a fucking gas-guzzling fucking car. Everybody wants an electric car. Why would you buy a brick if you can have a smartphone? Yes, I do know people are stupid, but you get the point, right? I've seen a Tesla. I would never buy a fucking oil car, ever. I've seen a Tesla, up close and personal. Fucking great cars. Great. They don't even make a sound. Okay, they hum, which is weird, a bit like UFOs with wheels. But oh my god, a rapid. Strange shit. Who wants to buy a crappy car? If this shit lasts me for a million years nearly, and it's literally a childhood thing of remote control car. That's literally what it is. It's literally a little RC car, but a massive version. You know, like when you're a kid. I'm only speaking to the guys here. I don't know. It could be a girl. Fuck knows. I don't know. Guessing you're the guy. When you're a kid and you got a remote control car as a kid, and how fast them fucking things were. That's a Tesla. A fucking big one. Mental. Why would I want to buy a little choo-choo fucking train shit motherfucker anymore? Nope. Any car. Electric, thank you very much. And the companies know it. Like literally, the companies know it. But the problem is, they've been building combustion engines for so long that's like kind of embedded with like unions and people who want to sell you cars and all that shit. You get the point, right? They're going to have to go broke. Ford makes electric. I think, what the fuck's it called? I can't remember. It's fucking. Anyway, Ford makes a pickup truck, right, in the United States. Hasn't made a fucking penny. Not a penny. Well, a cent, as they would say in the United States. Hasn't made a fucking cent on any that they've sold. Imagine that. I'm going to build you a car. They might as well just give them away for free then at that point. They're not making any money. It's costing them money to even catch up to a guy who sends rockets into space. Literally. Like him, dislike him, I don't give a fuck. Don't bet against how fucking insane this guy is. That's your first mistake. He changed the entire car industry by himself. And the fucking rocket industry by himself. And your payment system by himself. Technically not by himself. But you get the point, right? Don't fucking bet against him. That's a very, very, very bad idea. In my opinion. The evidence is there. He will literally spend all of his money to put you out of business. That is creepy. But also a good thing.
To stay in the country. And, you know, perhaps this isn't even a conversation about Brexit. Perhaps this is a conversation about whether the state should be more interventionist and maybe the state should be, you know, more entrepreneurial. You know, if you look at that area, Nissan, for every one job that Nissan provides, you've got 4 supplementary jobs. If you look at, you know, what...
Well, that's why Tony Benn, hold on, Mrs. Ava, sorry. Ava, that's why Tony Benn and Jeremy Corbyn hated the EU. We couldn't use state aid, technically. You could cheat. To be fair, the French did it all the time, and the Germans. But because we like cups of tea, we didn't want to cheat. But now we're not in that group anymore. Spend the money. I mean, national security is important. So spend it, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying cheat though. I don't want to cheat. I do. Okay, people think I'm like some crazy communist. I'm not. I'm not Ashikara. I don't work for Novara Media. I'm not a fucking communist. But I do like the idea of looking after corporations that literally benefit the country as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should sell your power generation to China or France or whoever. Just saying.
That could do around the...
I think we should just like enjoy the fact that we have smart people here. Pay them to do it. And tell the truth. That's all. That's going to cost this much money. Here's the bill. People be like, that's fine. Or maybe people be like, oh, I don't want to fucking pay that. To be fair, I know you think democracy is a great idea. Shut up. Shut up. I don't want a windmill in my back garden. Motherfucker, don't complain to me then when I fucking put your energy bill up, you Trump.
Country. Perhaps it's a conversation for governments. Maybe we need more intervention, more cash being pumped into private companies.
Right. I mean, the new trading relationship. This is the overview. Kate?
Well, no, look, they are taking, I think, £200 million from government in total of this $2 billion, and I wish they weren't.
From government? From me and you. The government doesn't have any money. It just doesn't. They print it out of thin air like you think they fucking own some shit. Who pays the taxes? We do. So when people say, oh, well, they give them 200 million, that's small change. Have you seen how much we give the oil industry? It would make you fucking cry. Go look it up. Go look up the corporations in the United Kingdom that make oil or listed that do oil business transactions. Look up how much the government gives to them. They made billions in profit. Billions. And we was like, please, sir. Like Oliver Twist. Please, with our little begging bowl. Even though it's our resources. Like, literally, our resources. Whatever. That's gonna make me go off on a tangent again about philosophical bollocks. Anyway. Please, sir. Can we have some more? Shut up. Fucking idiots. People are mad. Billions. I would tell you, but I would make myself mad if I told you how much every month we give to BP and Shell and all these other fucking retards. Make you cry. You think people scrounge because they get benefits or some shit? The biggest scroungers are the corporations that don't pay tax.
I think that this deal shows that private companies can put up the money, and that is really where it should be.
Of course they can put up the fucking money. Who the fuck do you think prints the fucking money for the start, lady? Like, just listen to this insanity. Who prints the money? We do. Who makes the taxes? Well, it's not me, clearly. They do, right? And they're saying, well, of course the corporations can pay. Motherfucker, they only exist because we allow them to. This is the point I was saying before about the Magna Carta. Fucking read it. It's pretty important. That's why we don't have a fucking king. But corporations get away with way more mad shit than fucking any fucker that's chopped off anyone's fucking head recently that I can fucking recall. Which is batshit crazy. Like, literally. If we live in a capitalist society, pay your tax. Oh, no. We can't make people pay tax. They'll all run away. That's what they tell you. No jokes. If we tax rich people, they will move to another country. Which one? Tell me. I'll go to China. Have fun. I don't give a fuck. I would put up the tax rate on the rich just to see who runs away and call them out as a tax dodging, narcissistic, money grabbing cunt. And literally I'd print them on a fucking poster and put it on a wall so people can walk past. Tax dodging cunt, him. Tax dodging bitch, here. Another cunt, him. Here, him, here, him. Put it on a wall. If I have to pay tax by law, so should you. So should you. Well, I'm a corporation. I don't give a fuck what you all mean. You could be Jesus. Pay your fucking taxes, motherfucker. Or get the fuck to stepping. Because I don't care. Pay your tax. Trumps.
Coming from.
I mean, putting a bomb under the economy, though, and then we're lighting the fuse, was that too hyperbolic in terms of describing what Brexit could do?
Oh, it depends what, I mean, you just there said that, you know, we are quite average, our growth has been average.
In advanced economies.
But it depends if you want to strive for average. I mean, should that be the benchmark? We should be going for, we're doing okay.
And their growth forecasts have been revised down. We heard Andrew Bailey, the Bank of England governor, saying that they're the worst he's seen in his lifetime.
Genuinely remarkable comments at a time when the Prime Minister is trying to get more business investment.
Not really. I watched a podcast with Mark Carney the other day. Fucking amazing. Mark Carney, if you don't know him, is a Canadian. I think he's still a Canadian. But he became the Bank of England CEO, boss, whatever you want. He was the boss of the Bank of England. Right? And he was like, guys, this is a stupid idea. He literally said that. It's like, this is not going to end well. And then they sacked him. No jokes.
Investment. Really, really special stuff. Look, if I were a politician right now, a Tory politician, I would not want to stand up and praise the UK's growth figures. This pledge that Rishi Sunak has to have the economy grow.
I wouldn't want to play. Bro, the only reason why you're on TV is because the same people who you promote literally fucked our fucking country anyway. So that's mad. Like, literally mad. By the way, if you don't know who this bitch is, she writes for The Spectator. You can find her there. She talks the equal amount of trash in a right-wing newspaper. If you don't know what The Spectator is, it's a right-wing newspaper in the UK. She fucking writes for it. Randomly. Like, randomly showing up on Question Time. Just saying.
By the end of the year, 0.5, 0.6%.
And they keep inviting her on this shit like she's got anything important to say when nobody knows who the fucking this lady is. That's mad. She literally appears on Question Time out of the blue. Randomly. Poof. Hello. Who are you? I'm just some nice lady who thinks I'm English. Well, you're not. And you know. Who put you there? The same guy who worked for Theresa May. Shock horror.
Is nothing I would boast about. The UK has a serious growth problem as well as a productivity problem. But the question about whether or not Brexit is responsible for all of that when you've had a pandemic, when
you literally couldn't make that shit up. Like, she literally was put on the show by the guy who got hired by one of the worst prime ministers that we've had in recent memory, Theresa May. Why? Fucking right-wing agenda. All this mad shit is literally right-wing politics. Sprinkled.
you've had Russia's illegal war against Ukraine, it's mixed. And as I said, the revisions from not what we think is going to happen in the future.
It's not mixed at all. We had a choice. Do you want to stay with a group of countries, or do you want to leave because you think you're going to win the next election / lose one? We know the outcome to this scenario. Literally, we know it. He resigned because he lost. He gambled with our entire country. Do you understand the fucking madness of what I'm telling people? He gambled because he was shit scared of Nigel Farage, who just got paid £1 million to eat testicles in a jungle. I mean, I thought my video on aliens was fucking stupid. This is way more strange when you actually think about it. Way more strange.
Future. What's actually happened are much more positive than a lot of people would like to admit.
Ava?
I mean, if you're one of the businesses who, you know, in and around the country over the last 10 years who have gone bust or haven't been able to trade with Europe anymore, I think you'd think very differently, wouldn't you?
Of course you would, and so much more needs to be done, particularly for those smaller businesses, and I think the Windsor Framework was a step in the right direction.
And Labour's National Wealth Fund is exactly that.
Yeah, let's fix shit that we didn't need to break. But even though we broke it, let's complain about it. Like, honestly, like, nobody would have given a fuck if nobody would have got a vote. And I know that because in 1997, when Tony Blair was literally was there, whatever, he was saying, literally, in his manifesto, I'll give you a vote on the EU, motherfuckers. Never happened. Nada. He ran on that. Do you think, like, these people think, like, the EU shit is, like, new? It isn't. It just ain't. Tony Blair, like I said, do you want to vote? And then suddenly, conveniently forgot about it. They asked the Irish, do you want to be this constitution shit? And they were like, nah. France, nah. Well, we like your answer, but we're going to ask you again until you say yes, and then you can, you know. That's better for everybody. If you just say yes. It's better. It's the end of the boat, yes, somehow. I don't know. Like I said, people are stupid. It's not like I'm anti-European, because that's not actually... That makes no sense. I'm European myself. I literally live on that side of the planet. So why would I be anti-European? I'm anti-fascist cunt though. I definitely anti-fascist. A lot of people confuse these bellends with like meaningful shit that you would hope most people would fucking think, really. But no, we get stuck with gobshites all the time. I mean, if your country's doing so well, why have we got so many fucking people on strike? These people are just on... Who do you think... Alright. Here's a mad one for you. Each one of the people on this show right now is paid for by you, the taxpayer. 250 quid. That guy has got a salary of 90 grand a year. The guy in the blue top. That bitch next to him, Labour Party fucker, 90 grand. Plus their other job, I think. The other bitch, Joe Coburn, She's on more than both of them, which is even fucking weirder. That other fucking retard nobody fucking knows about who magically fucking appeared. 250 quid. They get paid to be on the BBC. They don't do this shit for free, which is the funny bit. They don't do this for free. They just don't.
Every £1 we put in, that will...
And I know that because we checked it. We checked. 250 quid. Get the fuck out of it.
Be £3 from the private sector, creating those gigafactories, really investing in jobs.
Did she say giggle factory then, or what? Giggle factory. Giga, bitch.
Across the country.
Which was invented by Elon Musk. Just so you know.
The technical skills colleges, matching skills, working with businesses.
What's new about being in a capitalist society, these people? What's new? Bro, I literally watched kids work in a cotton mill. And I knew my future was pretty bleak at that point. And I was like 5. I've told this story, but I'm going to tell you again. Because I think it's interesting you should know the story. Because it's not a lie. It's a fact. And it's a strange fact that will never leave my brain until I die. Fuck knows when that is, but whatever. I was a kid in school. They roll in some giant TV. What are we gonna watch? Fuck knows. Cartoons maybe? Nope. Hello. Meet ex dude. Rich guy basically. Owns a cotton mill. Manchester. Some fucking place. Sorry, Manchester. But anyway, he owns a fucking cotton mill or some shit, right? He employs kids. Let that sink in. You do know we used to employ kids, right? Child labor. None of these fucking kids know how to read. None of them. They're all just dumb fucking kids. Whatever. This guy, because he's very educated or edumacated, whatever, he puts posters on the wall, which is kind of funny considering he's employing kids who can't read. But he puts posters on the wall that says, "Don't put your hands in the machines." The kids all start dying. Clearly, can't read for fuck's sake. What's his next plan of action at this point? He doesn't stop hiring children. No. I would think that's a bad idea. But apparently this cunt, fuck it, no. I'll go one better. I'll teach these fuckers how to read and open a school. I'm sat in school thinking, whoa, alarm bells are ringing. Exactly. How, let that sink in though. How do you manage to be such a cunt that you still hire kids to be your little slave workers? And instead of stopping the one obvious part of the injustice or mad shit that is hiring kids, which is fucking nuts in or of itself, but to continue, open a school, because he was losing money. The kids were dying. It was cheaper. This is the matter. It was cheaper for him to open a school to teach fucking kids how to read than it was for them to die. Dying was way more expensive. That's called capitalism. Literally right there. I like to tell that story because it's so fascinatingly fucking mind-blowing. Like, I was more shocked at that than someone telling me Santa Claus isn't real. I already worked that out. We don't have a chimney. I'm not that fucking stupid. Like, literally. Santa Claus? What? Hold on. So you're telling me Santa Claus is going to knock on the door? This is shit. Same with Jesus. Religious class. Jesus loves you. but there's more than one. Whoa. Wait, what? Hold on a minute. That makes no sense. So you're telling me Jesus isn't the only God thing? Yep. Everybody can have their own God. That doesn't work very well, does it? As a logical thing. Pretty broken at that point. People believe the most mad shit ever. I don't think it's mad shit. Like, I don't know, capitalism. And it's normal. It's normal to be into capitalism. It's not. You've just been brainwashed so much that you think it's fucking normal. Point out the obvious. Cheers. I mean, you can't escape it though, can you? That's also the problem of the beautiful game that we play or participate in. You can't change it because people are too fucking dumb. Terrible. Like, literally, people are too dumb. You can't change it. I don't wish. I don't fucking wish. I'm just saying.
Much more aligned. That's what businesses want, more certainty, a government that understands that they'll have to be a little bit interventionist and not just leave them to it, but they want that certainty in terms of what that level of investment looks like in the longer term.
And ambition as well. I mean, if you look at Europe, you've got plans for 50 gigafactories. I mean, you know, they're way ahead of us. We've got, what, half of a factory? You know, if you want to start playing on the world stage again, then you've got to think with ambition.
Well, talking of the world stage, let's have a look at this headline in the Times. Green retreat dented Britain's reputation, warns COP26 chief. Let me just unravel some of that. That was Alok Sharma. He was the head of the climate summit before. It's now being held in Dubai from this Thursday. Rishi Sunak, the King, and the Labour.
Imagine hosting the green. Imagine hosting the climate thingy in the one place that sells everybody oil. That's actually brilliant. I think it's satire. I don't know. I think I banged my head and I don't live in reality anymore because this shit is too bizarre. I think wasn't Saudi Arabia appointed to the human rights convention shit thing once upon a time? They literally chop off your head, throw gay people off houses or whatever. Yeah, you should be on the fucking humanitarian aid budget thing. What the actual fuck? You literally can't make it up.
Leader Keir Starmer are going to attend the summit. But Alok Sharma has said Britain has lost its international reputation on climate change and left other countries thinking it has walked away from the issue. And that is the government's own former head of COP. What do you say?
I respect Alok a lot. I've worked in the last year in the energy department, so as the PPS,
right?
sack on the bed. No, I don't think he is actually, because under where Alok was when we went into that COP, only 30% of the world had signed up to these this legal framework. We're up to 90%. We, as the global developed country, have had the biggest decarbonisation on the planet, bar none. So we are leading at this and dropped by 48%.
Well
no, but it's really important. So when we go up there...
Okay. You're going to believe this bullshit, really. We're the world leader. Have you seen how big Britain is? We're pretty tiny, bro.
There is still a long way for the world to go, but we need to bring them with us on that basis.
I think the contribution of the United Kingdom's global emissions is like 0, I don't know, 5 minutes later, 1%.
But you've got to bring...
It ain't that big. Mostly because we outsource all the shit that would make pollution a thing, or carbon. Like, who cares? The entire idea of this global warming shit is a bit mad anyway. I actually spoke to a scientist on Twitter and they got fucking mad at me because I said, why don't you put the sun in the IPCC reports about climate change? And she said, of course we do. Show me. And there isn't. This is the point. There is no sun in any global warming model. Let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, the very fucking thing they tell you is happening isn't that specific. They're just saying, there's shit in the air. We kind of know that. But the earth is heating up faster than it ever has before, or whatever. It isn't. It literally isn't. You've seen dinosaurs, right, on the TV. I'm just saying.
The people with us too.
So it's not. The problem is pollution, I would say. Pollution's a shitty idea. I mean, that's going to affect some shit. Mostly the fact that you're going to get cancer from carcinogens, which I know because I smoke. Same shit that comes out your car, I ingest anyway because I smoke. But the sun is not in any of the climate change models, which I find extraordinarily weird if you're going to tell me about science. My favorite subject is quantum mechanics. I like specific shit. Thank you very much. So, if humans are making all this heat, etc., aren't you leaving out the elephant in the room, which is the sun? And the only reason why I say that is because you can literally look up pictures of London, the River Thames, fucking frozen solid. When was the last time you seen that shit happen? Frozen. Point blank. And most climatologists from like the 70s, they don't believe in global warming. That's the bit that happens before what happens next, which is a fucking ice age. That's the bit they should be complaining about. If global warming is true, and all that ice, all that fresh ice sat on mountains, gets in the ocean, it's going to break the literal cycle, or cycle. It will break the shit that goes around the planet. It's underwater. If you've been on a plane, you know what I'm talking about, right? So if you fly that way, if you fly towards America, it's more expensive than if you're flying from America. The reason why is called the jet stream. Just saying. If you didn't know that, you know it now. But we have a jet stream in the ocean. It basically is hot water and cold water. And it's also fresh water, which is a bit mad, very rare, and salt water, which one's heavier, etc. Bit weird, I know, I don't want to get into science lesson. Point is, if all the shit breaks that shit, that actually gives us our summertime and wintertime, we go into an ice age. We ain't all going to be hot. We're all going to be freezing our fucking tits off. So I don't think global warming is like, oh, we're all going to get hotter for 10 million. No. Ice age, motherfucker, is what happens next. And that's the weird thing. They don't even tell you the truth about just normal science like that. They keep banging on like it's all going to get hot. It will. And then it's going to get fucking extremely fucking cold. Most of the fucking planet, its history, has been cold, not warm. Please, go look it up. Most of the time of the earth has been cold as fuck. My entire country was covered with fucking snow. Miles of it. So was North America. The Ice Age isn't a mistake. It's what normally our planet should be. Until we got hit by a fucking asteroid and then it got up a little bit, clearly.
You see the likes of ULEZ and the eruption around that.
I mean, even that's mad. The fact that people just, like, don't pay attention to basic shit. Like the Ice Age. Like, what the fuck?
The ultra-low emissions zone.
Oh, well, no, but emissions is pollution, bitch. Pollution. Carcinogens. Like, I agree with banning that shit. Because there's no point in having them things. But you can't exactly get rid of the entire idea of using oil when our entire civilization is based on petrochemicals. Unless you got a better fucking idea. We're fucking still screwed.
People into decisions, and that's the difficulty on the back of a cost.
Do you know waste from actual oil is in your toothpaste? Go read your toothpaste. Read the back of it. right there, oil. I should say oil really, because it'd be funnier. Shit that comes as derivatives and extracts and shit from what we get off the ground. They put it in all kinds of crazy shit. You would know its better name. It's called plastic. Where do you think plastic comes from? The shit in the fucking ground is where it comes from.
Cost of living crisis and the difficulty there. We've got to try and bring people with us, and that's achievable, and that's where we want to get to as a
because you didn't actually bring people with you in the previous policies that you had in place to combat climate change.
No, they have come with us on, changing their vehicles, getting solar panels up. We've cut VAT on that, for example. Air source heat pumps are going to encourage people to make those decisions. Smart meters, everyone can get a smart meter. These are all decisions that people can make.
Get a smart meter? Why? It's smart. How's it smart when I pay even more money than I used to before? It's not that smart. It's just tell me the price that I'm paying. Not smart about it at all. Smartphones, like I said, you put smart in the front of a fucking word, apparently now you're a fucking genius. Smartphone doesn't help if you're dumb.
All collectively add up. Personal responsibility, council's responsibility, government responsibility, and then global responsibility, because it can be a very scary place to, as an individual, say, what can you do?
I think
Here's some mad stuff for you. How crazy you are. Germany throws away more food. Listen to this. Shocking. And this was a while ago. Germany throws away more food than is allocated in the United Nations budget to feed poor people. One country throws away more fucking food than is allocated in the United Nations budget for helping motherfuckers who don't have any food. And that's one country. I don't mean to pick on Germany, but just I only know that because it was so shocking. I remember it. Germany, madness. And that's just one country, bro.
There's a plethora of measures that can help.
I think Alok Sharma is absolutely right. I mean, let's not forget, Rishi had to be dragged to COP27. He said he wasn't going to go. He didn't get it. I mean, we are heading to a catastrophe in terms of global warming to 2.5 degrees, and we have got to do much more. And he...
See? We're heading to the danger zone. Way to danger zone. 2.5%. What happens next in your climate model, motherfucker? Ice Age. That's what happens fucking next.
He's right. Under the Conservatives over 13 years, but certainly in the last couple of years, this government has destroyed our reputation on the world stage. It matters what you do domestically. Let's not...
I'm pretty sure we did that a long time ago. Invading other countries doesn't help. I'm just saying. There's literally 60 odd countries in the world today with my flag in their flag. I'm pretty sure a lot of people already hate us. They like our language though. And tea, clearly. I would say music too. We do make good music. Oh, and football. Can I say cricket really? Nah. No.
Forget the ban on onshore wind.
We're shit at cricket.
Had to support Labour. He's fine.
We're shit at football, to be fair. We haven't won fuck all. The women, though, I'm going to give a shout out to the women and the under 21s. They've both won the Euros. Kind of this year, whatever. Season. Big shout out to the women. They won a Euros before the men did. So yeah. Shout out to all my sexy lady soccer players, football players. They actually won some shit. I'm like a Muppet men team. Can't win fuck all.
So how much are you going to borrow
to
do it?
He's finally come around. We're not going to. We will borrow to invest, but not borrow for day-to-day spending.
Which is inflationary.
No. But in the second.
Oh, it's inflationary. Yeah, it's inflationary if you borrow money. Did we get inflation when you borrowed 600 billion quid? Nope. See what I'm saying? Like, he's just literally said, borrowing money creates inflation. That's a lie. Literally a lie. Literally a lie. But okay. Keep talking waffly fucking nonsense. And this is that's what I said before. Scary part about it is he believes it, and other stupid people will believe him. He knows he's lying. He's just saying it. He knows he's lying, but other stupid cunts think he's actually telling the truth. Borrowing creates inflation. Go and look up the history of the United Kingdom and tell me the last time we was in the black. Please. Go for it right now. I'll wait while you Google it. The only country that was in the black in 2010 was Canada. Everybody else was in debt. Everybody else. Unless I've missed something. Canada wasn't though. That's a fact. Because I pay attention clearly. Canada was in the black. One of the only major OECD countries that still had money in 2010. I mean, to be fair, there's only like 5 people and a moose that live in Canada. No offense to the moose. You get the point. Everybody else, debt. So don't give me this borrowing money causes inflation bollocks. Shitty governments, robbing fucking cunts cause inflation. The reason why inflation got so out of hand is corporations thought COVID was the best idea ever to rob people. Well, can't do this, can't do... Oh, it's a tight labour market and shit. I mean, to be fair, it kind of was a bit creepy. And people did pay a lot of money for certain things. That's true. COVID was real. But so was fucking Liz Truss. She tried to borrow 40 billion quid. 40. Not 600. 40 billion. The only reason why she didn't get that money is because she said to the people who she asked to borrow the money from, "You're paying." And they rightly said, "Fuck off." Not a chance. That's not how you borrow money. You pay me, not the other way around. That's why she got the sack. Let's get that shit straight. Lend me £40 billion, please. Sure. What are you paying me? No, you're paying. No. No. Get sacked. And then, when we said, okay, we sacked her, can we borrow money again? They said, sure. But now we're going to charge you even fucking more than we was before because you actually took the piss. That's the problem. We pay more today because Liz Truss was our Prime Minister. Look it up. In black and white. Right there. They literally said it if you watch any of my streams. We get charged a premium. Premium. Do you know what the word premium means? Plus is what it fucking means. If you like math. Plus. Give us more now. Because you took the fucking piss. But we love the free market. Pretty sure you do. Give us more money. Come on, chop chop. I'm not waiting all day for you to elect another retard. We don't trust you. We don't trust that you're even capable. We want extra money. Bonds. Gilts. No. Give us it. And these are people who tell you that free market's everything. But when the free market tells them to go fuck themselves, oh, conspiracy theory. That's what they literally said. They said it's a conspiracy theory. No jokes. In the newspapers, conspiracy theory. Everybody conspired against Liz Truss. Because she's a fucking monk. Give her some money anyway. She's an gobshite. Like, what the fuck? They're all gobshites anyway. Fucking lying bastards.
Part of our parliament, we have said, of course, the Green Prosperity Plan, which is about having energy security. Yeah.
This is about jobs. Is it going to happen, Preet? Because although Keir Starmer is going, you're absolutely right, to the summit, it's been reported over the last week or so that actually this £28 billion a year being spent on climate policies, well, it's being delayed, that we know, but it might not happen at all, we hear.
No, that is absolutely not true. So let me just be absolutely clear. In the second term of our parliament, we will absolutely commit to going...
Second term?
If we are privileged enough to be
so it's not
elected...
Going to, so you're not going to borrow that money for investment in the first term?
If we are privileged enough, we will absolutely look at the fiscal situation we inherit and we will...
Okay, now I'm actually terrified. How did these people get jobs other than being bullshitters? Hello, Vaughan, by the way. I've got no idea. What an utter bullshit answer that was. So this 28 billion quid, you can literally just print from thin air if you wanted to. Yeah. In our second term. Presumptions, fucking bitch. You said you're going to get 2 terms in office? Well, we assume we will. Don't assume nothing. We live in Britain. Fucking hell. I assumed the Tories would already be out of office by now. Clearly. Nope.
Work towards a plan as to how we can reach that target, working with business. But, well, look, I mean, the things that we want to deliver around GB energy, retrofitting...
I bet she's not even an MP in fucking... What is it? Second Parliament? What's that? But I don't even know what year it is. 2023. We have an election 2024. 5-year period. That's 2029. And she's telling me she's going to be an MP in 2034. Shut up.
Homes, all of the...
I don't even think I'll be alive then. I'll be died of boredom or some weird shit. Fucking hell, it's heart attack. I've got no idea. She definitely won't be an MP. That's for sure.
Solar power energy, that will take time. You've got to look at the fiscal situation and set a plan, don't you, at the first...
I'm just going to talk. If I sound and say shit, that's great. Just listen to what I'm saying. Look into the eyes, not around the eyes. Look into the eyes. It's like an episode of Little Fucking Britain.
You can't do that now when we don't...
This was a centrepiece. This has been a centrepiece of Labour's offer leading up to a general election. Yep. It now sounds like it might not happen at all. So we were told Labour are committed to spending and investing up to £28 billion a year. When?
Look, the fiscal situation at the moment, as we're very clear from our Shadow Chancellor, is that the 28 billion is likely to be hit at a second term of a Labour government. Of course, we've got to be privileged, and so that's because
after 2029.
No, but no. Actually, it won't be. But it will.
I love the faces of the other panelists going, "Well, you're full of shit." Why doesn't someone just say, "You're literally just full of shit"? Why doesn't someone just tell the truth? Why can't you swear on TV? Also, why is that a fucking problem? Why doesn't someone just say, honestly, you're so full of shit?
At the end...
I would love that. If people were just honest and just said, "John, you're full of shit, bro. You know what you're talking about." I'd like that. It would seem reasonable, right? Like, no, I don't think anybody would get mad. I mean, people say, "Oh, it's daytime TV." Yeah. Who cares? I don't give a fuck. Swear. We're English. We like sweary-wearies kind of thing. We invented them, for fuck's sake. Oop, just sweared. My bad.
Of the first Parliament is
at the end of the first Parliament.
Well, does that disappoint you, Ava?
It really shocks me because of the conversation we've just had before this, which is about building, which is about this ambitious target we're going to have. You know, everything that you want in your climate... Hang on, everything you want in your climate policy.
Yeah, but the almost... Okay, I get it, right? What she's saying is, we'll spend money, but the last time we said we're going to spend money, everyone literally shit their pants and didn't vote for us and voted for the Tories. Now when we want them to spend money, they sound even worse than the Tories do, which is complete bonkers if you ask me. Imagine that. Like, imagine being scared to do exactly what you should do because the other side of the aisle, as they say, or the other team, whatever, is literally scared shitless about something completely different. You've got the right wing versus, I don't even know what the Labour Party is at this point. Fucking useless cunts. Like, I've got no idea. Spend the money. Get out the checkbook. Just don't say rich people are going to pay for it, though, because that will literally get you in trouble. Like Liz Truss. Liz Truss said that, didn't it, Bill?
Would match with what you're building. So you're now telling us that if you're not going to meet those
Well, at least line them, tax them. I don't know.
targets, you're not going to borrow that money into your second term.
Ava, how will you get those supply chains set up?
Going to be building anything in the first
No,
place.
that's not true. Those supply chains will take about 2 years to create, and it's about working with industry. No one is going to expect us to be spending 28 billion in the first year.
Oh my God, that fucking. Sorry, I just need to choke on my drink.
No, they are.
No, they are not. Absolutely not.
Well, hang on. It was the end of. It would be in the first term by the end of that.
Yes.
First term, but
so this is about working.
Print it. Just print the money. Print it. It's a good idea. I like this idea. This is from Bernie Sanders, actually. It's not even my idea. I stole it from Bernie Sanders. And he stole it from somebody else. I forgot his name. Fuck. An American economist. He said, if you literally put like 1 cent or 1 penny on the transactions of the stock market, you'd make billions. Because there's that much money sloshing around the system. Literally nobody would care. Nobody would care. Nobody. If you say that out loud again, James, man, if you type that, I'm gonna ban you. Don't you dare, Rich. I will ban you. Because we all know who's gonna be the next Prime Minister, and it ain't Keir Starmer. It's gonna be Cyril fucking Braveman. No one else fucking look.
With business to create those supply chains, so that...
Yeah, put a penny in the stock market. Transactions will make loads of money. And like I said, that wasn't my idea. Bernie Sanders stole it in this election. I think it was 2008. Fucking some shit. So, I don't know. When was Bernie Sanders running for president? Can't remember now. God, that was so long ago. Anyway, yeah. Put a penny. It's not even a penny. I think it's 0.03% of a penny or a cent or some shit. And you'd make a fuck ton of money. And nobody would care. Nobody would care. So, do that. That sounds like a great plan. Tax the people who already have the money that don't notice that they've got money. I don't know.
We can hit that target. Nobody's expecting us to deliver that on year 1 and year 2.
Yeah. No, I'm expecting you to just not be shit like the Tories, but I'm worried that you will be just like... You sound terrible, is what I'm trying to say. You don't sound like you're confident. You just keep... You sound like you're afraid to say the word tax. Which is bad. Tax the rich. Everybody knows that's a good idea. Stop sucking rich cock. Not you. Alright, maybe suck Rich's cock because he's in the side chat. Suck his cock. But anyway. Just do your job is the point. Please. For the sake of my sanity. I can't cope if the Tories are in power for any longer. I mean, it's funny, clearly, if you like dark humour and comedy. I don't want you to run the country, though. Get out. Get out.
Is the caution right?
We are working towards it.
I think both the Tories and Labour have realised, have got a bit of a dose of reality there, especially when it comes to public spending and what the public will tolerate.
All right, that's all we have time for.
I like, see the way she smiled. What the public will tolerate. Nothing to do with the public, you fucking clown. Nothing to do with the public whatsoever. How much money did they give the banks? Quantitative easing? Billions, billions, billions. People still vote for these fucking ass clowns anyway. So now. Tax the rich. Or print more money. They're the only options at this point. And what I mean by print more money is debt. It's literally that simple. I know people like, isn't debt a bad thing? It is when you're a human being. That's debt as a human being is bad. That is totally a fair point. But it's very misleading to say debt as a country technically is a bad idea when it's not. Debt is a normal function of the fiat currency system in which we operate, shall we say. It's fine. Don't overdo it, clearly, or you will end up like Zimbabwe. You don't want to go that far, or the Weimar Republic, right? You don't want to go crazy balls deep into debt. That's stupid, as a country. But nominally, shall we say, it's fine. We was in debt up to our fucking eyeballs, and we still built the NHS. We had more debt versus GDP, and we built the NHS. Let that sink in. So no, we're not skint. We're not skint because we pay it back in tax. All the shit we borrow, we pay it back in tax over long ass periods of time. And we don't pay them back to individuals, we pay them back to institutions, investment bankers and these fucking weirdos. They buy our debt. So you say, I'm going to put up your taxes. Oh no, okay. Let me put it this way. I'm going to build a hospital, right? I literally, I'll build your hospital, motherfucker. Everybody thinks they built the hospital, when actually what you're saying is, I've borrowed loads of money and I'm going to tax you, but you just don't know it. And everyone's like, hey, that's normal, right? That's how normal shit works. Like I said, debt isn't bad. That's why we have bonds. The stock market is like right there. You can go and look it up. Government debt. When people don't want to buy your debt, it's because of how much interest you're going to pay them back on the debt over a very long time. Most 10 years, 15 years. You get some long ass ones which is like 40 years, which is fucking insane. But basically countries just issue long ass agreements to pay it back with interest. The problem Liz Truss did, which is why she got sacked, like I said before, is she said to the people that she's asking to fucking borrow the money, you're paying it. Stupidcunt.com. Don't do that. Just don't do that. And now we pay even more for the shit that we have to borrow because she was a dumb fucking cunt. Labour only don't want to mention the money because they're scared what happens to Liz Truss will happen to them. And you have to be an absolute moron for that to happen, clearly. So the very, I don't know, going easy with the whole, like, I've never seen one tax policy from Labour in terms of anything I would like clap for, like nothing. They keep banging on about non-dom status. There's like 4 people that pay that tax, or don't pay that tax. There's like literally 4 of them, or something. It's not many, put it that way. Like I said, they're talking about billions. The United Kingdom generates, as an economy, 2.2 trillion. It starts with a T. Trillion. How many zeros is that, ladies and gentlemen? That's a lot of zeros, right? So, don't tell me that we've got no money. And also don't tell me we got no money because we print it. Literally from thin air. Like I said, fiat currency. The United States, people bang on about their debt in America. They're equally stupid Americans because they go, oh, we've got all this debt. And they can't count. The United States, funny enough, is quite similar to the United Kingdom. It generates, I think, per year, 16 trillion. Some fucking weird number. I think last time I checked, I think it was 16. Could be higher, but I think it was 16 last time I checked. And their country is in debt for 22 trillion. 22. The United States owes people, whoever people are, 22 trillion quid. That's a fucking insane number. The world is in debt for 600 trillion to itself. And that was a long... these are late figures that I looked at, probably fucking 2010 or some stupid shit, so... it's way higher now. 600 trillion? What the fuck kind of number is that? What kind of number is a trillion anyway? We got no money. Okay, open a dictionary. What does it say on the word money? Someone post it who can be bothered in the side chat to go and look it up. Just make me happy. Go and look up the word money and see what it says. Anything with intrinsic value. Currency is the value of money. Cheers. I mean, it's literally that bad. So, we've got no money. No. That's a lie. Blatantly lying. Of course we got money. We invented it, for fuck's sake. Yeah, but it requires value, which is anything. First word, anything. Like I said, if you're a prostitute, you don't go to jail because you had sex. You go to jail because you didn't pay tax. So people think prostitution is bad. Yet it is, if you don't pay tax. I mean, I know lots of prostitutes. Most of my ex-girlfriends didn't pay them though. But they're definitely hoes. Hopefully you got that joke. But you get the point right. You got that joke? Good. Don't cry. I never said anything bad. I'm just saying it's a funny joke. And it's not, to be fair, it's not a joke, it's a funny assessment of the situation. Your girlfriend is a hoe. She just never went to jail. Or you. Because you paid tax, clearly. Just saying. Or bought flowers. One or two. Anyway. I'm done. I know you're thinking, well, I wish you'd shut up on your streams and let me just watch the show. Fuck off, okay? Shut up. I will do what I want on my own channel. Like I said, I'm not the BBC, motherfucker. If you want to watch the BBC, be my guest. Pay your fucking TV license, though. Otherwise, don't complain. Just because I show your programs doesn't mean I have to fucking, like, literally fucking watch them and not get angry. Because I do get angry and I want to comment. The vast majority of the time, I try not to bitch and complain. On microphone. But I'm definitely shouting when I'm not. Like, you honestly think I watch this shit, I don't think the same way when I'm watching it, when I'm not on microphone? You're mad. Of course I'm thinking the same shit. It's annoying. I fucking hopefully you fucking get annoyed when you fucking watch it too. Half the shit he says fucking mad and not true. Yeah. Money is any object, thank you. Money is any object that is generally accepted as payment for goods and services. Yep. Suck my dick. It's a bit mad. It's right there. Exactly what Richard has just posted. It's literally right there. Any is the important word in that entire sentence. Any object. Anything. That's the maddest shit ever. Money is anything. Tax. Whoa. And that's why currency is important. Because currency is the valuation of worth of money. So when people lose confidence, your currency does what, ladies and gentlemen? Goes down. Because they don't have faith in your money. Which is basically saying religion at that point. It requires you to believe that money's fucking a thing in order for it to be a fucking thing. Which is kind of like a snake eating its own tail at that point. Which is mad. Right? So if you believe money's worth some shit, it's always going to be worth shit. And if you don't, well, you're fucked. Definitely fucked. The game we play is not really that complex, I would suggest. People overcomplicate it. Maybe far too much. But it's pretty simple. Someone told you the value of your existence and you believe it. Because you don't know any different. So why would you think that it would be different? There's some weird guy called Copernicus. I've told this story. It's not a story, it's a fact. You can just fucking look at it, but I'm going to say it as a story clearly. Once upon a time, humans were literally so stupid, but unwittingly stupid, might I add, that they literally thought the sun goes around the earth. They literally thought that was the reality of their actual existence. Which, to us, is stupid now, clearly. That's mad. How can you be that dumb? But let that sink in, slowly, and marinate a little bit in your little noggin. Why do you pay, why do we have money? It's not because someone invented it. In like, here's a good idea. No, you were forced to pay it. What is Richard to me? If I'm Richard's king, what is Richard? I know you want to type it rich. Go for it, homie. Is the point. He's my serf. My slave. I own the land he walks on. I want you to work for me. Here is a piece of metal with my face on it. You owe me this shit, bitch. That's money. And it ain't like anything really. It's very clear what it is. Slavery. Servitude. Debt and slavery. Actually in the dictionary, very fucking similar. Just saying. Very similar. Debt is an IOU. And slavery is I own you. Indebted servitude, bitches. That's what that shit is anyway. Money. Some love it, some hate it. I don't understand it, to be fair. Don't understand. Well, I do understand it, but I don't understand why people get freaked out about it when we made it up. Like, I made a video about aliens, which is way more interesting in any stretch of anyone's imagination. Should be breaking news. Aliens. No one cares. Like, literally nobody. Like, if you literally watched any congressional hearing, and you know that the people who testify are literally shitting their pants in front of Congress, I do mean shitting themselves, like literally. They are terrified. And you're gonna tell me that that dude lied under oath, which means perjury, which means you go into jail. I don't even know if they have the death penalty for lying to Congress. Pretty sure they might do. I don't know, maybe Rich can tell me. But yeah, it's a bad idea, put it that way anyway. This guy sat there in front of Congress with a straight face and said to the entire planet, aliens. Fucking nuts. That blows my mind. That, like, people are just like, oh, okay, whatever. He's probably just lying, or a conspiracy theorist or some shit. Yet at the same time, if that's true, you're forgetting one important part of your skeptical mind. You live on a fucking planet. A big giant fucking rock whizzing around in a universe with no edge. Zip. Nada. No edge. And you think aliens ain't no. Well, they can't get here from there. Who said that? Albert Einstein. Okay. And you think Einstein is the smartest being in the universe? You do know Einstein said there's no such things as a black hole, right? You do know he got that shit wrong. He said, no way. There's no way a black hole is real. Mr. Albert Einstein said that. The same guy who said you can't go faster than light. Him. He's literally contradicted himself. Because we know what a black hole is. We literally took a photo of one of them. No jokes. So the guy who told you it's impossible to travel faster than light also got wrong the very fucking objects that breaks physics. Like, let that sink in. I like physics. That blew my mind. So you're telling me you can't go quicker than light, photons, etc. Yeah. But you're also telling me gravity is infinity. I didn't say that. No, you just literally did. I can read it. It's right there. It's in general relativity. You said if you have this, then you will get that. That looks like a black hole. It literally looks like a black hole. Infinity. Nope. Didn't put... Yes, you did. Decades later, we literally took a picture of one. Right there. Looking at us. Infinity. Right there. A black hole, by the way, is like a giant sun. People have these weird pictures in their head of a hole. It's not a hole. It's a sun. That's what it looks like. A very dark looking sun. The reason why it's dark is because light can't escape. Excuse me? Yeah, listen to me very carefully. Light cannot escape gravity. Which one's going faster at this point, ladies and gentlemen? Pretty sure it's not light. Considering it can't move. Literally can't move. And light moves pretty quick. Turn on your light in your room. Light is pretty speedy. But the universe is way more bonkers. An astronomical unit is the distance between the sun and the earth. That's what an AU stands for. It takes around 9 minutes. I forgot what the actual number is. I think it's 9. 8.5, 9 minutes. I think. Yeah, some shit. Anyway, it ain't that long. But it takes ages for it to get from here to there, etc. So it's going pretty slow if you think the universe has no fucking edge. And then you put in black holes in that mad scenario. Aliens definitely can get here, is the point. That was a long spiel. But my main point was, of course aliens can get here. That's like saying I don't have a boat. So, Americans don't exist because I've never seen them. I watched them on TV. But America doesn't exist. I've never been to the United States, so technically doesn't exist. Which is clearly fucking stupid. Some aliens are clearly smarter than we are. Most people on the internet are stupid, including myself, to be fair. And that's normal. We haven't been around for that long. People used to ride horses and shit. Oh, we're all special little snowflakes now because we got iPhones, we got computers. Everybody's a genius. You still live in a house made of fucking brick. Not very smart, is it? You still, that's technically a mud hut with a window. The only difference between a cave and your house is a window. Let's make that shit pretty clear right now. That's the only difference between a caveman and modern man. Fucking windows. Don't know how you get a fucking window in a cave. Just say. But that is the difference. Literally. So yeah. Why do I stream politics? Information. Clearly. I like to give my peeps information. But I definitely shout. Because they don't really tell the truth. It is a bit like 1984. I don't know if you've ever seen Logan's Run. I don't know if anyone's ever watched that movie. Really good. They said they were going to remake it. They never did. I thought it was that shit as well. Someone should definitely remake that movie. And if you want to watch a movie with aliens and kind of the nuttery side of aliens or whatever, watch They Live with Roddy Piper. Fucking classic movie. Just saying. It's a good movie. Only because it's a good thinking movie. It's not about aliens really, if you pay attention. Even though it says aliens, it's not about aliens, but it's about society in general. And that was bullshit. Like all the shit you watch, all the shit you read. It's all like focus group tested. I mean, like think about this when I did the AI video. AI is gonna know way more than any batshit crazy human who would bother to like fucking count beans or whatever. The AI is gonna tell them that's how they're gonna vote. Change it. Change it. If an AI, like, you know, we predict the weather, right? Okay, this is scary, but I'm going to tell you this is actually a thing. I shouldn't tell you, but I'm going to tell you. You do know, I should say. They have models based on human interactions and shit. Psychology models. And this has been going back since fucking God knows when. But they use models to literally predict what people are going to do in countries. That's mad, isn't it? And that's what I'm saying, voting's crazy. Most people would think voting is just your own shit. Like, a lot of the shit that I used to think, and still think maybe, I guess, I'm not going to leave myself, I am a human. So leave me alone, I'm not perfect. Fuck, I wish I was. Not. Anyway, point being is, a lot of shit that we think is subliminal. Like, it's manufactured kind of shit. So we think things, and we're biased, And it's not because we want to be, it's because that's the only way we know how to think. Like 1984 is a really mad, interesting thing. It's because what he's saying in 1984 is, it's not that people are willingly fucking cunts. They're so uninformed that makes them fucking ignorant cunts. Right? Like, the only reason why all the words that you use as descriptions, words, if you study linguistics, words are descriptors of ideas in your head. So when you think of shit, you move your fucking mouth and a word comes out, right? But that's called a descriptor, or a container, shall we say. It contains your idea, and then when you pass it along to another nerd human person, they're like, oh, I know what that means. Most of the time. But that's the problem. You can manipulate that very process, and that, my good friends, is called propaganda. But you can do it visually as well. Like, why do you think McDonald's is red and yellow? Like, it's basic shit. As someone who does graphic design, I could tell you. But you should know that these colours that you see are literally there for a reason. Why are all healthy foods green? Because it reminds you of nature. So you put green in some shit if you want them to convince you it's healthy. Make it green. Or brown. Anything that's got any natural tone to it from nature. Slap the word healthy on some fucking idiot buy it. Red is a good one, because red is an alert. But a different kind of alert when McDonald's uses it. But they're very sneaky. They put yellow in there because it's sunny. What do people mostly like? Sunny days. The sun. Yellow. Always a classic. Just saying. It's a bit of a mad thing, but they use it all the time. Like when I'm designing shit for people, that's what I think about. Like, who is my target audience for the graphics I'm producing? You've got to make it so people recognize it and have an attachment, or they won't like it, right? So you need to make attachments. Same shit with words. That's why all the YouTube videos you watch have these garbage fucking adverts in them. And then they tell you, which I find funny, I'm poor. If you don't like and subscribe, I'm poor. Don't be daft. Don't be daft. No. They sell you all these kinds of crazy shit. I've been streaming this shit for ages. Never once have I ever put an advert on my shit. And if you see an advert, let me know. Hopefully I fucking don't get any. Fuck them. I don't need your money. I do want your brain and your eyeballs, though. That's important. But not your money. You can keep that. So, if anybody ever asks you that I ask you for money, say no. It's not me. Probably some fucking fake motherfucker. Definitely ain't me. Anyway, I'm gonna go and get it. Gonna go and get drunk. I think that's a safe word. Well, not really. I'm gonna go and play Counter-Strike. So I will see you all. What day is today? Tuesday. Fucking hell. Tuesday. God, do I really have to come back tomorrow? Fucking hell. I'll see you when I see you. I don't really want to do question time. That's Thursday. I mean, question time PMQs. I can't really be asked because I'm going to be up late. Busy bee. No, I am. So yeah. Anyway, I will see you in the week, hopefully. Probably. Goodbye, Rich and Voan. Suck a dick. Because you're just Voan. You little vegan cunt. Ta-da. Oh, by the way, don't get mad. Just saying. Live life, bros.